Bobby April, the special teams coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. We are getting set for the Eagles and the Lions. Lions have won the toss. They will receive. Each team 0-1 and looking for a much-needed win. That's Stefan Logan, the speedy return man for the Lions. Michael Vick waiting his turn along the Eagles sideline.
I want to see you call this game today, Sam, like your hair's on fire.
Oh, yeah.
You hear Bobby April down there? Talking to his guys. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
David Akers kicks it off. Logan 2 yards deep, brings it back. A little room on the sideline, forced out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Shaun Hill, 9-year veteran. As Chris told you, a winning record as a starting quarterback. Jahvid Best struggled last week, but he did score 2 touchdowns. Getting near the goal line, he was good. Calvin Johnson is the man that the Eagles will be keying on defensively. Offensive line, the tackles, very important. Jeff Backus and Gosder Charles. 3 wide receivers to start for the Lions. Hill spins, gets it out to Nate Burleson, number 13. Short gain, and he's taken down by Joselio Hansen. Eagles defense, which will put pressure on and try to get to Shaun Hill. Brandon Graham, this is a homecoming for him. Grew up in Detroit, went to Michigan. The linebackers, Omar Gaither starting for Stuart Bradley. And middle linebacker, Ernie Sims played 4 years here in Detroit. And the secondary, Nate Allen, a rookie, had a nice opening day last week, had an interception. Hill with time, throws, and it's off the hands of Calvin Johnson and incomplete. Brings up a 3rd down for the Detroit Lions. Shaun Hill, who got some starting time in San Francisco, then was beaten out last year. Alex Smith took over late October, and he signed in March with the Lions.
I love this dude. I love his grit. Chris talked about it. He's 10-6. He's a gamer. I mean, you talk to every coordinator that tries to defend him. They all know that he's a gamer. They know he knows where to go with the football. Most effective, Sam, with the underneath passing game.
3 wide receivers. Brandon Pettigrew, the tight end, lines up in the backfield. Hill gets some time. Now he's rushed and shovels it ahead to Jahvid Best, and it turns into a big gainer. Up to the 47-yard line as Shaun Hill improvised and shoveled it ahead to Jahvid Best.
Yeah, and they need to get Jahvid Best the ball in space. He's going to get out there, watch the rush, and then man coverage. That's the key. Man coverage out on the corner. Hill's got better athleticism than you think, and you can see because of the man coverage down the field, and they just ran Asante Samuel off. There was nobody once Jahvid Best got the ball in space.
19-yard gain. Here's Best behind the fullback, Jerome Felton, and a good pickup. Looks like he's got a 1st down. Nate Allen, the safety, had to bring him down, but Jahvid Best, who had some nerves running the ball last week, except when he got near the goal line.
Yeah, I think he was tentative. I think you saw that on the first run against Chicago last week. Now, Chicago's really good in that front 7, but you see that number there, 1.4 per carry. That number's definitely got to go up. And Shaun Hill needs a running game today. He's the kind of guy that needs support so he can really get his play-action game working.
1st down at the Eagles 43 with Maurice Morris in the backfield. Takes the delay, finds an opening, is tripped up by the cornerback, Asante Samuel, with a good gain down to the 38-yard line, a pickup of 5 on the play.
One thing about Philadelphia, they're big on the inside with the defensive line, but small on the edges. So watch the push here, and then watch Felton, 45, the fullback, as he gets right into Omar Gaither, the middle linebacker, and drives him off the ball about 5 or 6 yards.
Jaquay Parker in on the defensive line for the Eagles. Best splits out to the right. Maurice Morris is in the backfield. Shaun Hill gets some time, and nobody open, and he's brought down by Brandon Graham. 1st tackle for Brandon Graham in the NFL.
And this is just all about effort. He is bull rushing the right guard, Peterman, and Graham was such a good player at Michigan. 29.5 sacks, 1st-round pick. Philadelphia gave up a bunch to go get him in terms of draft selections. They moved up 11 spots on draft day, and he basically, that was a coverage sack because he was right in the grill of Peterman, the right guard. Shaun Hill had nowhere to go with the ball, and Brandon Graham gets his sack.
Credited with his 1st NFL sack. 2 tight ends in on 3rd down. for the Lions. Have to get to the 33. Hill throws, and the catch by Calvin Johnson. He reaches forward, and it looks like he's got enough for the first down. He had Ellis Hobbs on him, and a good play by Calvin Johnson.
He's going to get right to the first down mark and then run that dig route. And he's just too big for Ellis Hobbs. And you see where the ball is as his knee's down, clearly over the first down mark, but they need to get him going early. Calvin, to me, is a guy, if you get his confidence going early in a football game and it gets sky high, his physical ability takes over, he can dominate.
Jahvid Best in the backfield. 8th play of the drive, 2 tight ends in. Off the fake, Hill wants to go deep. Throwing outside, off the hands of Calvin Johnson. Threw underneath. He was looking originally for Bryant Johnson, who was deep in the end zone.
I think he got hit. I thought there was some bumping going on with the ball in the air, and I think Philadelphia got away with one right there with Quentin Michael.
Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, would like to get a good rush on Shaun Hill with the front 4, and not have to blitz.
Well, you don't want to blitz, Sam, because you want to keep 7 in coverage for Calvin Johnson, and now with Nate Burleson on the field, they are dynamic as a receiver corps.
2 tight ends in. Pettigrew and Scheffler, everybody out. Hill goes deep. Downfield for Scheffler, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by the Eagles in the end zone.
He's going to let it go early. There's Scheffler up the seam, or excuse me, let it go late. He was open, puts a lot of air under that ball. Nice interception, Philip.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
After the interception by Nate Allen, the Eagles go on offense, and there is Michael Vick in his first start since December 2006 when he was with Atlanta. And he trips but hands the ball off to LeSean McCoy, who gets 4 yards on the play. So Nate Allen with interceptions in his first 2 games as a pro.
Exactly, and there's Scheffler right there, and he's just going to run down the seam. It's 3 deep. You'll see the safety, Nate Allen, come over here, but looks like Calvin runs the wrong route. He's going to take Asante Samuel right into Tony Scheffler. There was no separation between the receivers. Sean needed to throw that ball earlier, no question about it. Hung it up down on the goal line, as you said, pick number 2 for Nate Allen.
Jumping across. And the play is stopped. That was Ndamukong Suh, number 90, the 2nd pick overall in the draft. Let's get the call from Clete Blakeman, our referee, in his 2nd NFL game, his 3rd season in the NFL, 2 years as a field judge, and last week made his debut as a referee.
Encroachment on the defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So it's a 2nd and 1.
Tell you, when this guy gets it figured out, Ndamukong Suh, he is going to be a beast, because he is a power train. When you talk about physical ability and strength to dominate people.
With Leonard Weaver on IR, Mike Bell is in the fullback position here with LeSean McCoy. McCoy on the carry. Stop. No gain on the play. Turk McBride with a tackle. Let's get an update. Our first of the day, and go to Curt Menefee.
Out of the gate, Steelers and Titans. Opening kickoff. Muwaldi Moore takes it at the 3 and hands it off to the rookie, Antonio Brown. 6th-round draft pick out of Central Michigan. He runs it the last 89 for a score in the opening kickoff. Steelers on top of the Titans already. 7-0. Sam and Tim.
Thanks, Curt. Good start to the game for Pittsburgh on the road. Here's 3rd and 1. Owen Schmidt in at fullback. They just signed him this week. And Riley Cooper at wide receiver. Vic rolls, turns the other way, and completes to Brent Selleck, the tight end. A first down up close to the 40-yard line.
Well, very good play call by Marty Morton-Henwig, the throwback, and they are going to challenge these linebackers all day. Here's Zach Follett. Here's Selleck here. He's going to just run an out route. Vic rolls to the right and then throws all the way back. Excuse me, Selleck came from the other side. That is the crossfire where Selleck lined up tight end to the front side. Zach Follett was looking in pursuit to go after Vic. And then here comes Brent Selleck crossing his face out to the flat. very well-designed play and executed.
3 wide receivers in. Vick with a short drop. He's hit as he throws, and the ball's batted down, incomplete. There is a flag on the play.
I think they're going to get a rough on the passer.
He may have gotten hit in the
Personal
head.
foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 98, below the quarterback's head. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's on Julian Peterson.
There he is, and watch his right arm as he goes right into the head of Mike Vick. He's trying to hit the ball, and his arm went past. As it hit the ball, it continued on and hit Mike Vick right upside the head. They're going to call that every time.
Yes, that is such a huge point of emphasis. Any blow to the head will bring out a flag.
And it's tough now because you think about Julian Peterson, who's got his hands up to block the ball. And I think that's what Jim Schwartz is yelling about right now. He's got his hands up to block the ball. He hits the ball, and still it's because of that action, hits Mike Vick square on the side of the helmet.
From the Lions 46, Vick to throw and completes to DeSean Jackson with great speed. He's headed for the end zone. He's in. "45-yard touchdown pass, Mike Vick to DeSean Jackson." They get the speedy wide receiver involved early, and Vick leads the team down with quick touchdown and keeps the football.
I'll tell you, the speed with Vick on the field, obviously, but you think of DeSean Jackson, you think of Macklin, you think of even Selleck as a matchup problem with the linebacker core that's out there today for the Lions. In particular, Landon Johnson in there for DeAndre Levy. You got Follett at one outside backer spot. Julian Peterson, been around a long time. There is a huge contrast in speed between Philly's offense and the Lions linebackers.
David Akers' extra point is good. The Eagles get the ball, march 80 yards for the touchdown.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
What a confidence boost for Michael Vick and for the Eagles to get DeSean Jackson becoming a big playmaker.
Yeah, and Mike was confident coming off last week. I don't think you can say the same, Sam, for DeSean Jackson. You go back to the last 2 games last year against the Cowboys to finish it, and then week 1 against the Packers. That guy had not been his high-flying, impactful self. That was the old DeSean Jackson right there taking it to the house.
Stephon Logan from the 4, spun around and then flipped down by Moses Foku. Good coverage by the Eagles that time.
Yeah,
Jackson.
Watch him sit in the zone, and then now he's going to turn on the Jets. Bad angle there from Delma. C.C. Brown's not catching him. The linebackers have no choice. Speed, mismatch.
Today's game is sponsored by Sprint, the Now Network. By the new Ford Edge, the world has never seen a crossover quite like this. And by DirecTV. Watch your favorite team wherever you live, only on DirecTV.
Here at Ford Field in Detroit, the Lions on offense for the second time. A 9-play drive ended with an interception by Nate Allen of the Eagles. Now the handoff to Javid Best. And Best gets 3 yards up to the 27-yard line. And talking to the coaches, Jim Schwartz told us they want to keep Michael Vick from being a difference maker. They didn't on that play.
Well, you got to keep him in the pocket, and I told, and every bit's the same plan. It's been the same plan forever since Mike's been in the league. You don't want him to be a playmaker with his legs. Mike just made a play with his arm, and talking to him last night, he said that's the mistake now is where I am in this offense, throwing is my forte.
Here's Best around the right side, good play, got tripped up by Quentin Michael, the safety. Otherwise, he might have been gone. Great quickness by Javid Best.
And they needed that in the backfield, the element. Now watch, you're going to down block here. Sims is going to pull around and get a seal block. There's Peterman in front of him. There Sims gets a nice block. And then Javid Best picking up another first down. He is off to a fine start. When you compare that to what he was last week in Chicago, and this is turf now, which I think is certainly conducive to what his talents are. You can see that guy is a high flyer.
This is his 4th run, and there's a good hole for him. Best getting outside. The Eagles chasing. And he's forced out of bounds by Ellis Hobbs at the Eagles' 26-yard line. 33-yard run for Javid Best. Now 4 carries, 60 yards.
Watch the guard and the tackle right there in Backus and Rob Sims. They catch him in a stunt, which means that the Philadelphia Eagles were crashing the defensive line down. They were able to wash those guys down the line of scrimmage. Scheffler coming around the backside, getting out in front. Nice play.
Aaron Brown in for Javid Best with Jerome Felton, the fullback. It's Brown slicing through, wrapped up by Ernie Sims and brought down. Let's check out another update. For that, go to Kurt Menefee.
The Vikings trying to avoid the 0-2 start, hosting Miami. Chad Henne and Brian Hartline thinking otherwise. Hooking up for the 5-yard score. Dolphins with a lead at the Dome, up 7-0 on Favre and the Vikings. Sam and Tim.
Thank you, Kurt. Antonio Dixon, number 90, in on the defensive line for the Eagles, replacing Broderick Bunkley. Aaron Brown stays in the backfield for the Lions. Delay to Brown. Finds an opening. He danced a little bit and then found the opening and took it down to the 14-yard line. A first down. The middle linebacker Omar Gaither with a tackle.
I'll tell you the guy who's improved. I want you to watch the right guard, Stephen Peterman, and watch him here on Mike Patterson. I mean, look at him just stay engaged with Patterson, get him down to a leg, just battle. They are opening lanes for these running backs. I love the mentality right now of this offense. Scott Linehan calling plays. They are undersized, they're fast. Mash it right in their face with the run game.
And straight ahead, Best, and he's in. Touchdown! A 6-play, 76-yard drive, all runs, and Javid Best finishes it off. 14-yard touchdown run, his third touchdown already in 2 games as a pro.
And creased him right up the gut. As I said, undersized defense. You're feeling good about your offensive line if you're Detroit. They manhandled Philadelphia on that drive in the run game.
Jason Hanson for the extra point. The game is tied. Great response by the Detroit Lions, led by their rookie running back, Javid Best. He had a big run earlier for 33, and then finishes with a 14-yarder. Last season ended with a bombshell. Tomorrow night on Fox, House returns an all-new season of shocks, surprises, and a premiere that'll have everyone talking. Prepare for complications. It's the season premiere of House tomorrow night at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Can we get him to come to one of our games?
Hugh Laurie is invited anytime he wants. We're big fans. Jason Hanson's kick to Ellis Hobbs at the 10. On the return, he gets up to the 30-yard line. Detroit Lions have had the ball twice. They've racked up 119 yards on offense. Lions and Eagles tied at 7.
From the field in Detroit, you wouldn't think these two would be such a hot combo, but Andy Reid, his passing work with Michael Vick called it a passing camp. And as you said, Tim, Michael Vick said, I'm a pass first, run second kind of guy. And he did say, I've enjoyed all the coaches I've had, but with Andy Reid, he's the kind of guy you don't want to disappoint. Let's go back upstairs to Sam and Tim.
And you're right about that, Chris. Thanks for that report. That Mike Vick is really obligated, and he feels good about the opportunity that the Eagles have given, and he wants to pay them back. He came back last year. He struggled. He's in great shape now. He's worked hard in the offseason. He's really changed his lifestyle. And Andy Reid says, I'm a big fan.
Defense, number 99, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Yeah, and Mike is transformed, right? No question about it. And talking to him, his weight is down. He's 206. Clearly his legs are back, and he's got all that snap back in the legs. 2 years was a long time to be away from football. But I also know in talking to Andy said, I'm a huge Mike Vick fan, no question about it. I also know that we're committed to Kevin Kolb as our starting quarterback, and even Mike said the same thing. I am holding this baby down until Kevin comes back.
Penalty on Corey Williams of the Lions on 1st and 5. Mike Bell slipped and fell as he took the handoff. Mike Bell brought in. He played a couple of years in Denver, played for the Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints last season.
And Jason Peters is down, their left tackle, and they are already stressed with injuries. Big storyline coming in. Because of the injuries, the O-line has not spent a lot of time together. They got a new center out there today in Mike McGlynn, and now maybe their best lineman is down in Jason Peters.
That's Jason Peters at the trainer's table. King Dunlap has replaced him. Number 65. Jason Peters, as Tim mentioned, probably their best offensive lineman. Dunlap in his 3rd year out of Auburn.
Here's how he got hurt. Mike Bell just stumbles on the turf and falls right into the back leg and ankle there of Jason Peters. He came down awkwardly on top of it. He did get up and walk off, as you said. Hopefully he'll be okay.
2 tight ends in for Philadelphia. Garrett Mills, number 89, making his Eagles debut. Vick throwing the screen to McCoy. Took a hit, falls forward for a first down at the 41-yard line.
And they're going to hit the perimeter all day long, I think, against this defense. The meat of this defense is right in the middle when you look at them in that defensive line. So run to the perimeter, throw screens to the perimeter. You're going to see a lot of slip screens in this game, and you achieve a couple of things. You get those guys tired, that defensive line. Maybe Van Bosch never gets tired, but you get those guys running to the perimeter, and you try to exploit the lack of speed right now at linebacker for the Lions defense.
McCoy splits out wide on first down. Vick feels pressure, starts to run, and is forced out of bounds after gain up to the 47-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Last week, Michael Vick rushed for 103 yards. He's over 30. And the first quarterback over 30 to ever rush for 100 yards in a game.
Man coverage, and Mike knows it. And Green Bay made the mistake last week of playing man coverage on him. Now he escapes out to his right. If he's going to escape anywhere, that's what you want, where you want Mike Vick to go. But you saw Louis Delmas, who was spying him, came in late to knock Mike out of bounds. I think we'll see a lot of that today with 26 trying to mirror what Mike Vick does.
McCoy trying to push the pile forward. It's up close to the 49-yard line. They'll bring up a 3rd and 2. Dallas and Chicago in Dallas. What's happening?
What's happening is Cowboy first-round pick Dez Bryant. He missed the preseason with an ankle injury. I think that ankle is healthy. 62-yard punt return. Put the Cowboys on the board, and they take the lead 7-3 over the Bears in the first quarter. Sam, Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. Special teams for Dallas. Mike Bell in the backfield with Mike Vick on 3rd and 3. Pressure up the middle. Vick fires for Jackson. He's got it. No, he dropped it. He was spun down. He rules a catch. He ruled it a catch that he was down. Jonathan Wade spun him down. The ball came loose. The initial signal was a catch.
Did he finish the
down
process?
By contact. And Jim Schwartz, you can see him. He knows what happened last week. He's saying it's no catch.
Yeah, let's watch the end of the play here. Deshaun Jackson goes up and gets it. There you got Jonathan Wade, who's got a hold of his arm. He doesn't have possession yet. Takes a couple of steps. He's secured possession. Down. Did he start a football move before he started to be thrown down? I don't think so. I mean, to me, it looks like it's all part of the process of Jonathan Wade taking him down. He did not secure complete possession of the football. The process is started. The process is still going. The process is still going. The ball is free. It's come loose. That's got to be incomplete. In terms of starting and finishing the process of a catch with a defender who is forcing you to go to the ground, that should be incomplete.
There is no foul for unsportsmanlike conduct.
There was a flag thrown in front of the Lions bench for possible unsportsmanlike conduct. That flag has been picked up. The discussion is continuing amongst the officials as they're all huddling up here. The rookie referee, Clete Blakeman, has got one on his hands here.
And here's my feeling. I mean, did Deshaun catch the ball, have possession, claim possession before Jonathan Wade started to tackle him? Because to me, as you look at it here, okay, there's the process has begun. Okay. 1 foot down. Did he have 2 feet down as Did he have possession? I mean, this is going to be a lot of gray area, I think, for the official trying to figure this one out. Call the catch on the field. Obviously important, Sam, and what they're going to ultimately decide.
And obviously challenged by Jim Schwartz and the Detroit Lions.
And I'm sure Mike Pereira back in LA taking a good look at this one. Again, I think the question is, did he have possession before Wade started the tackling process?
Last week, that's Calvin Johnson, the controversial play that Lions fans thought should have been a catch and a touchdown to win the game.
I think this one may be harder to figure out than Calvin's.
Really?
Absolutely, because of where the defender was and the role that he played in getting Jackson to the ground.
Vick was pressured and he put it up for grabs, and Deshaun Jackson made the catch here. Jonathan Wade spins him down. He hits and the ball comes loose.
You know, he may have secured possession before that ball started to come loose and before Wade started to tackle to start the process of tackling him to the ground. This one is so close, it's ridiculous. And at that point, you know the ground cannot cause a fumble. Can cause an incompletion, it can't cause a fumble.
All right. For the Eagles, good news, Jason Peters is back in as they await the official discussion. And to get some clarification on what's going on, let's go to our studios in Los Angeles. The former NFL head of referees, Mike Pereira, is with us. Mike, you looked at the play. What do you think?
Tough play, Sam, because here's what you got to look at in this one. Was he going to the ground, or did he complete the catch and was then he contacted by the defender and take him to the ground? That's what they ruled on the field. So therefore, is it a catch down by contact? The first element, is he going to the ground? Watch here. Gets 1, 2 feet down, now goes to the ground.
I think it's going to be a catch, Mike.
This is a tough one.
I think it's going to be a catch, and I just told Sam, I think this one's got a lot more gray area than Calvin's play last week.
Yeah, this is the one where you have to make the determination, was he going to the ground on his own, or did he complete the catch before he was thrown to the ground by the defender? So that's going to be the difference here.
I think it was so close, and what it was called on the field, I'll be very surprised if Cleat doesn't come back out and give Philadelphia the ball at the 18-yard line.
All right, here comes Cleat Blakeman right now. Let's get the official ruling from the referee.
After review, the player lost control of the ball as he was going to the ground. It was an incomplete pass. As he forced down, the ball.
Whoa.
Reset the game clock to 3:07.
Take a look at the right hand of the defender. Did the right hand of the defender make contact on the receiver before he had completed the catch? If that's the case, then you've got a receiver going to the ground and he has to hold on. So if we go back and take a look at that, watch the right hand of the defender and see if he makes contact. I think he does. And that's what he focused on when he went under the hood.
Boy, that one was close, Mike. That one was so close.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike Pereira checking things out at the TV Center back in Los Angeles. The challenge is upheld and the ruling on the field overturned. So now the Eagles are forced to punt.
Jimmy Schwartz was out of his mind on the side.
Well, after what happened last week, you can understand.
I'm telling you, though, that one was a lot more difficult to figure out than the Calvin play.
Sav Rocca is back deep. Jim Schwartz continues his conversation with the line judge. Sav Rocca will punt for Philadelphia with Stephon Logan back deep, just inside his 10-yard line. Rocca's been bothered by a hamstring twinge in his non-kicking leg. Last week was real strong in his punting. Logan looks around, waits for a fair catch, takes it at the 10-yard line. Last week in Chicago, this was the play, Tim.
Well, you got a reception checklist. Number one, you got to catch the ball. You got to hit all 4 targets for it to be good. Calvin clearly catches the ball there. Next, you got to get 2 feet down. connects out that bullseye, that target, 2 feet down. Next, he's got to get his butt inbounds. He does that. Clearly a catch, but you've got to maintain possession all the way through the process. And as he rolls over and the ball hits the ground, he did not finish the process and it was incomplete. This was just a few minutes ago. Called complete on the field and then reviewed and determined incomplete. That he did not finish the process from start to finish of when he caught the ball. Did he have possession before the defender had contact with him in the process of the defender getting him to the ground? That one had some gray area, and they called it obviously the way they did on the field and then reviewed it and changed it.
On the punt, there was a flag, a face mask penalty against the Lions, half the distance to the goal, and the Lions start from the 5-yard line. Javid Best looking for an opening. There's none there. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Last week, the Lions had 14 possessions. 7 of them started inside their own 20-yard line. Here they start at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, their field position was terrible last week. They were crushed in that area. And then I think you also look at them, and it ended up really leaking into time of possession, having their backs against the wall and really unable to continue drives and stay ahead of the chains. Sean Hill was, I don't know, his average third down last week was 3rd and 9. It's got to be better than that.
And flags fly.
False start on the offense, number 84. Half the distance to the goal line, still 2nd down.
That's on Brandon Pettigrew, the 2nd-year tight end. And the Lions are set back 2.5 yards. Jim Schwartz, who didn't put emphasis on that Calvin Johnson play, he took the controversy out right away. He said, you know what, there were a lot of other plays that impacted the outcome of that game. Best and Felton in the backfield. It's Javid Best, and the Eagles stop him just out of the end zone. Great work up front. That's a loss back to the 1-yard line.
Well, these linebackers are just coming after it downhill. Watch Sims, watch these guys crash right into the backfield. Ernie Sims takes on Jerome Felton right there with his outside shoulder, leverages it back inside to Omar Gaither, and they stacked it up right at the line of scrimmage. Ernie Sims over 500 tackles here for the Lions, and they love him. I know McDermott, who was a 1st-round pick here and let go in the offseason over to Detroit. Sean McDermott loves the guy.
Hill from the end zone, throwing it up top and way overthrown. Calvin Johnson, the intended receiver, double covered on the play, and the Lions are 3 and out. And actually 3 and out and thrown back. They lost a couple of yards on the play. Good defensive work by the Eagles and a couple of penalties on the Lions.
And what I was saying a minute ago, time of possession, a big problem last week, already tremendously in favor of the Philadelphia Eagles in this one.
First punt of the game for the Lions. It's Nick Harris deep in his end zone. Sean Jackson backs up. What a punt by Harris. Jackson backed up to his 34 with room to return. Ran into one Lion and he's brought down. That's John Welding. Welding was brought over from Buffalo, where he was an outstanding special teamer. There is a flag down, and we'll check that out.
You know who coached him over in Buffalo as that special teamer was Bobby April, was his special teams coach.
During the kick, holding on the receiving team, number 42. The 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down.
65-yard punt by Nick Harris. 6-yard return in John Wendling, the 4th-year man out of Wyoming, making the tackle. Well, the baseball pennant races winding up, and when you go to postseason, we've got great baseball for you. The National League Championship Series beginning October 16th here on Fox, followed by the World Series right here on Fox. Great teams in great races in the National League. We have that for you to begin our postseason coverage, and then the World Series.
What do we got until the postseason? 15 games or so?
Yeah. Couple of weeks. McCoy and Schmidt in the backfield. The play fake. Vick pumping. Hit from behind. The loose ball is covered by the Eagles. Turk McBride forced the fumble on the rush. Jason Peters is hurt again, the left tackle. And concern for him as he's down again.
Turk McBride out here to the left. You're going to see him just rush up the field, go around Winston Justice, and then swoop up with that left hand and rip it out of Mike Vick's hand.
And it was Winston Justice who recovered the fumble, but now concerned.
Yeah, Mike's arm definitely not going forward as he pumped it and then pulled it back. That is a fumble. Forced fumble by McBride gets the sack. Winston Justice will get the recovery. And Philadelphia activated 8 linemen today.
And there's the concern for Peters, down for the second time in this game. Last week the Eagles lost their starting center Jamal Jackson with a torn triceps. And here's Andy Reid out on the field. Mike McGlynn is starting in Jackson's spot, and now the big left tackle Jason Peters. That is the offensive line coach, Juan Castillo.
And he got 8 guys activated today for the offensive line. I think just knowing with Nick Cole and Harrimans and Peters, they all came into the game nicked. And a lot of offensive line coaches around the league have gotten away with activating 7 guys on game day, usually giving another guy to the special teams coach, but 8 here, and obviously the right move.
Let's check out what's happening in Carolina. Here's Curt Menefee.
Panthers down a touchdown against the Bucks. Going for it on 4th down. Matt Moore back from that concussion last week. Hooking up with Steve Smith for a 37-yard touchdown. And Carolina has evened things up early on in the second quarter. 7-7. Sam and Tim.
Thank you, Curt. 4th down call works for the Carolina Panthers, who are 0-1. Tampa Bay 1-0. We're back in Detroit. Jason Peters trying to walk it off again. Earlier, his own man, Mike Bell, fell on the back of his legs. He was able to return. Now he heads off very slowly. And this one doesn't look good. And there is Big King Dunlop, 6'9", 330 pounds. 3rd-year man out of Auburn.
And will have his work cut out for him if he's got to stay in this game for any length of time against Kyle Vanden Bosch.
Kyle Vanden Bosch, the first man the Lions signed in free agency. The minute it opened, there was Jim Schwartz to put the contract down and say, come on, and help turn the Lions' fortunes around, much the way he helped Tennessee turn things around.
No, he's out of his mind. Said he played his best football when Schwartzy was his coordinator down in Tennessee. And still says he hasn't played his best football yet. 79 plays last week, had 11 tackles. The guy's motor is redlining for 60 minutes every Sunday. It's awesome.
2nd and 18, McCoy in the backfield with Vick. Flag goes down, McCoy carries, good run. And he's pulled down by the safety, C.C. Brown. Check out the flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Illegal formation. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Negates a good run by LeSean McCoy.
Yeah, and that was a very nice run. I think when you look at Andy Reid's team, they are a throwing football team. They always have been. And then I think you look at them coming into this game today against the Lions. They don't have a real fullback. I know they just got Owen Schmidt up on the roster, but losing Leonard Weaver was huge because of all the stuff in the West Coast offense that counts on the fullback. They don't have a big inline blocking tight end. It is the spread fast pass and the misdirection run plays for the Eagles offense.
Ball back to the 10-yard line. 1st down mark is the 33. Vick to put it up. Throws, and it's deflected and batted down. Excellent play by the linebacker, Zach Follett, going up to knock the ball down. First quarter with a lot happening. Controversial call. Touchdowns for each team. 7-7, end of the first. Welcome back to the NFL on Fox. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, Chris Myers at Ford Field in Detroit. Eagles with a 3rd and 23 on their own 10. Vick sends everybody out, rolls, and runs. Not much room, forced out of bounds, short of the 1st down. And the Eagles will be forced to punt. And Ndamukong Suh chasing Mike Vick. And you hear the Sioux. First quarter numbers. Lions ran the ball with Javid Best having a great first quarter. 7 carries, 73 yards. Mike Vick with a big pass, 45 yards to Deshaun Jackson for a touchdown.
Impressed with the offense so far. I know Shaun Hill had the interception early for the Lions, but think of them last week against Chicago. 168 yards of total offense in that game. They're clicking pretty good here today.
Sabraka's second punt. Stephon Logan looks around from the 25. Couple of Eagles there. Takes it wide. Chased by Riley Cooper. But the good quickness of Stephon Logan gets him a 20-yard return. He's out of bounds around the 45-yard line. Stephon Logan.
42 came back on a peel back block, Sam, for the Lions when you looked at it, and really brought his hat. Amari Spivey. And I just wonder if they're going to get him on the peel back, coming back and hitting a guy in the head, which you know is a rule now in the National Football League. You can be defenseless as a defender running to the ball.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting on the defense, number 42. The 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
The taunting call is against the Eagles. Kurt Coleman.
Today's game is sponsored by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By Cadillac, the new standard of the world. And by Burger King. Have it your way.
Here in Detroit during the timeout, I spoke with referee Clete Blakeman on the third down reversal of the Deshaun Jackson call. Under the hood, he said he saw that the receiver did not control the ball. He did not have the ball complete control in the process on his own before the tackle came. Therefore, the 2 feet on the ground irrelevant, similar to what Fox's Mike Pereira pointed out from his Fox ref man, Ben King. Tim?
Yeah, still questionable in my mind.
Swinging out to Javid Best, but too high. And an incomplete pass. If you're just joining us, a lot happened in the first quarter. Good drive to start the game for the Lions, but Shaun Hill throws this into the end zone, and Nate Allen intercepts for the Eagles. Then the Eagles drive 80 yards and finish it off. 45-yard pass Vick to Deshaun Jackson. Back come the Lions. 6 runs, 76 yards finished off on a 14-yard touchdown run by Javid Best. Shaun Hill filling in for the injured Matthew Stafford, and as Jim Schwartz told us, Matthew Stafford is the foundation of the future for the Lions, and only when he's 100%, that's his throwing shoulder, will he be back in there. No timetable yet on his return.
And I think that's the right move. I mean, he is a long-term player. There's no doubt they are committed to him for the future, and I think coaches sometimes get themselves in trouble when they put a time frame on it.
Here's 3rd and 10.
Either he's ready too soon or the coach was wrong and he's not ready soon enough. So when he's ready is the right answer.
Hill trying to get away from the blitz. Pressure is brought down short of a first down. Good pressure by the Eagles. And there's a flag on the play, which we'll check out. Clete Blakeman was a quarterback at Nebraska.
Holding defense, number 23. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Automatic first down, so penalty hurts the Eagles badly. After a good defensive series, Lions in good field position.
And that's what the Lions can't have, what you just saw there, the 3rd and 7+. I mean, Shaun Hill needs support from the run game, needs to be in the 3rd and mediums, have his play action working so he can get the ball out quick and underneath. So they need to continue to pound the run as they've done here for first quarter of this game.
Lions 2 tight ends, and they stop the play as the flags fly, and we've got penalties coming up frequently now.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Stephen Peterman, the right guard, called for the false start. Antonio Dixon is in on the defensive line for the Eagles. Second-year head coach Jim Schwartz. They've had a lot of personnel turnover in his 2 years. The level of talent seems to be so much better, too.
No question. No question. I think their draft last year and this year Last year certainly paid dividends. Guys are already playing good this year.
The delay to Best goes nowhere. Good work up front by the Eagles. Time for another update from Dallas. For that, we go to Kurt Menefee.
Watch Cowboy running back Marion Barber sacrificing his body to help the touchdown. Tony Romo to Chris Gronkowski, and the Cowboys on top of the Bears, 14-10, thanks to a little help from their friends, Sam and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. Hill throws and completes to the tight end, Brandon Pettigrew, down to the 31-yard line. Lions have 3 tight ends dressed for the game, and all are good ones. Pettigrew, the draft pick from last year, first-round draft pick. They add to that Tony Scheffler, who they brought in from Denver via trade, and Will Heller, who they picked up last year. So they've got 3 solid tight ends. Maurice Morris in the backfield, 2 tight ends in on 3rd and 7. Blitz coming, and the pass batted away. Good pressure, and Trent Cole got in, got the arms up to bat the pass away.
Peterman's down. Their right guard is down, Steven Peterman. And he's been playing really good in this game today, blocking Mike Patterson. They missed him last year. Remember the Minnesota game we did there when he hurt his ankle? They lost him for the year. Here is at right guard. He's going to get bull rushed by Brandon Graham, the first-round pick. And it almost looked like Maurice Morris, and he either collided knees. Hopefully that is just a contusion, and then he didn't step on it funny and twist it.
And he seems to be okay as he jogs off the field. That's a good sign. Eagles defensive front starting to get some pressure on Shaun Hill now.
Well, we saw the blitz come 2 plays ago on the batted ball, and Brandon Graham now. The Eagles defensively have been needing inside pressure for years now. Brandon Graham's playing inside, and hopefully is going to give him that punch with the inside pressure.
49-yard field goal tried by Jason Hanson. Nick Harris the holder. Long snapper is Don Muhlbach. And the kick is right through. 40-year-old Jason Hanson with the strong leg gives the Lions a 10-7 lead.
Back here in Detroit, Philadelphia left tackle Jason Peters playing with an injured left knee and a bruised right ankle. The trainer, Rick Burkhalter, wrapped him up in both areas. Their best linemen, Sam and Tim, are going to try and get him back out there on the field for the rest of this game.
I don't know if there's anything else he could hurt, Chris. He's hurt every part of his body. Hanson to kick off. Ellis Hobbs is deep. The kick is short, and it's taken up front. Oh! And a big hit. Strong play up front by Ashley Palmer on the hit. Next weekend, the Big Ten Network has a full slate of great college football action. Michigan State winners over Notre Dame last night, hosting Northern Colorado. Penn State taking on the Temple Owls, plus regional action. Check your local listings for the game in your area on the Big Ten Network.
You got to tell me about Notre Dame in that game last night. They fired Charlie Weiss, and I think they hired Charlie Weiss. Where was the defense?
Oh, man, what a game. It ends on a fake field goal in overtime. Vic rolling, hit, and gets rid of the ball, and it's a completed pass to Jason Avant. Both quarterbacks have been improvising in this game, and Vic, the master of improvisation, started to roll out, took a hit on the play, and still completed the pass.
Yeah, and Alfonso Smith, 27, you'll see he's secondary contained guy, and he goes after Mike. But Mike's ability, after he takes a hit, I call those the bailout throws. He's on his way to his back end, still has enough arm strength to flick it out there for the completion and the positive gain of about 7 yards.
2nd and 3. Mix up on the handoff. It's taken by McCoy. You had McCoy and Bell in the backfield, and it looked like both guys thought they were getting the ball. McCoy ended up with it, and the carry up to the 33-yard line, and enough for a first down.
Boy, you look at what Philadelphia has done on first down. Everyone talks about third down being the money down. Well, to me, first down's the money down. And number one, you don't get to a lot of third downs when you're that good on first down. Number two, you end up being in very manageable situations.
Mike Bell lining up as the fullback, carrying straight ahead and getting 5 yards up ahead. The Eagles, as you pointed out, in flux with Leonard Weaver out. They're going fullback by committee. And Mike Bell, who's normally a running back and ran very well for New Orleans, is lining up at fullback a lot.
Yep, and here's what they'll miss, though, in Leonard Weaver, because he was a good blocker, not a great blocker. They miss that fullback as a receiver out of the backfield. And as big a part as he is of the West Coast offense and the principles of the West Coast offense, the fullback in the passing game.
They go for the end around. Here comes Deshaun Jackson. And heading for the sideline, he's greeted by a couple of Lions and taken down. Chris Houston was one of them. Just about a yard short of the first down line. At the 43, Louis Delmas and Chris Houston there. Delmas is playing with some injuries. He's been injured since training camp, but he is a key man on the defense for the Detroit Lions.
What did Schwartzy say about him? He is a lightning bolt with range. Gunther Cunningham, the DC, told us he could line up and start at cornerback in any team in the National Football League. Red hot with his speed.
Here's 3rd and 1. Bell and McCoy in the backfield. People moving on the line as flags fly.
Yeah, somebody moved before Mike got the timeout.
Offense, number 59. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Nick Cole, the right guard. Eagles took a lot of penalties last week against the Packers, and they're taking several here in the first half. As Andy Reid looks on. One thing, Tim talked about it if you watch the pregame show, Andy Reid, well, he thought he had a timeout.
Did Andy call it on the sideline before there was a false start?
And Andy,
because as you know, coaches can call it with the side judge over on the sideline.
There's confusion. Marty Morton-Henweg, the offensive coordinator, and Andy Reid talking to the officials, trying to figure out if a timeout was called and who called it.
Timeout, Philadelphia. It's their first timeout of the half.
Well, they take the timeout,
Please
but
put
apparently
9:47.
they got the penalty charged, and it cost them 5 yards.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
Kyle Vanden Bosch has quickly established himself as a leader on this football team.
Well, I love that guy. I mean, you think about his career, where he started in Arizona as a first-round pick, all the injuries, out to Tennessee. He bet on himself on a 1-year deal. And I know Jimmy Schwartz didn't go sign him for his leadership. That was a big part of it. He signed him because he's still a playmaker.
That's right.
I'll bet you, Sam, at the end of the year, we look up, Vanden Bosch will have 10 sacks.
Here's 3rd and 6. Vick standing in the pocket. The pass was a good one, but dropped by Jason Avant. That should have been caught. And the Eagles will be forced to punt.
They had a defensive end, Lawrence Jackson, dropping into coverage there on a fire zone. The defensive end dropping out. Avant went right behind him. Vick delivered the ball. Avant was wide open. Wasn't a perfect ball, but certainly I think one that should have been caught.
Savraka with his 3rd punt of the game. Stephon Logan back deep inside his 15-yard line. After the Eagles scored first, the Lions have answered back. High snap, grabbed by Rocca, gets it away. Good, strong punt. Logan lets it bounce. High bounce inside the 5. Eagles, looks like they downed it at the 1. Discussion as to whether it bounced on the goal line. If it did, it's going to be a touchback. And it is a touchback.
Yeah, let's see where it comes down. Is it? He still had the ball in his hand and stepped over the plane to the goal line.
Scott Linehan is the offensive coordinator. The run game has worked with Javid Best running the ball very well. The passing game, 4 for 11, 40 yards for Sean Hill, 1 for his last 7. Here's Best. Looking for some blocking, gets a couple of yards. Stephen Peterman, by the way, was injured the last possession, is back in at right guard for the Lions.
And he's playing very well. They have owned the line of scrimmage up the middle, but here they're going to try to get it to the perimeter, and I want you to watch Akeem Jordan. As he is the force guy, watch him. He's going to keep his outside arm free right there on Gosder. Then he's going to take on the fullback Felton, and then he's going to be the guy to run Javid Best out of bounds. Really good stuff there by Akeem Jordan. But I think they need to run, as you look at Detroit, as this game continues, Sam, it's got to be between the tackles. Don't get on the perimeter against all that Philly speed.
Everybody out. Hill gets time, completes to Bryant Johnson. Short pickup up close to the 25-yard line. You talked about the improvement in talent. Bryant Johnson was brought in last year. Nate Burleson this year to join Calvin Johnson. Gives them a pretty nice receiving core.
Absolutely. And I think you look at Bryant Johnson, to me, the old first-round pick in Arizona, he's always been a 40-catch guy. And to me, the addition, now that you put him as the third, Nate Burleson as the second, Nate should finish this year opposite Calvin with about 70 catches and 8 touchdowns.
Antoine Barnes in at defensive end for the Eagles. Screen pass to Best. Couple of blockers. Looking for room. He's got a first down. Turns it into a big gainer. He's gone. Touchdown Lions. "75-yard screen pass to Javid Best. Gives him 4 touchdowns in his first 2 NFL games.
He is exciting in the open field. That's why they moved up back into the first round to get him. I know Jim Schwartz and these guys here in Detroit saw him without doubt as the best playmaker in the draft. Watch the bad pursuit angles. Right there, Yosilio falls down, Hanson. And now you get a really good block out in front by Brandon Pettigrew. And then once Javid Best gets in the open field with white jerseys behind him, forget it.
Wow. He is putting excitement into the offense. Hanson's extra point is good. 17 straight points for the Lions. They now have a 17-7 lead.
Well,
and
his
Javid
eyes,
Best, boy.
His eyes are wide open today. And last week we talked about his vision was not very good. He's seeing it all here today. Look at that little cut right there. His change of direction quickness is ridiculously good. And then has the long speed, too, to get out and take it to the house.
I hope you got him in your fantasy football league, because this guy is something else.
Yeah, what were they last week? Minus yards rushing in the second half of that game. And I know Javid only finished with 20 and 1.4 per carry on the day. Today he's done it on the ground running the ball. He's certainly done it as a receiver out of the backfield.
Now, that was only a screen pass, but it was technically Shaun Hill's longest touchdown pass. Career long pass, 75 yards.
Hold on a minute. Is he keeping that ball?
Hey.
Maybe he'll have Javid sign it.
It's his first touchdown pass as a Lion.
Have Javid sign it.
The Lions in their home opener with a 17-7 lead. Big play. Looking for the explosion play. The Eagles were worried about 2 offensive weapons for the Lions coming into the game. Calvin Johnson, they've done a good job on him, and Javid Best. They haven't been able to stop him. Ellis Hobbs on the return. Across the 20, keeps battling, gets up across the 25-yard line.
Sam, typically when you get a big play out in space, you got good blocks down the field. Watch Bryant Johnson here, number 80 on the safety, Nate Allen. He is going to lock up with him, stay with him, as was Pettigrew at the top of the screen. Well executed by all 11 guys on the Lions offense.
Ernie Sims tried to catch up from behind, couldn't do it. Best too much speed.
And you should be able to block downfield, and I know they see it that way. As big as these receivers are, Bryant Johnson and Calvin Johnson, physically they should be able to handle defensive backs in the blocking game.
Jason Peters back in at left tackle for the Eagles. Vick, pressure, gets rid of it to the fullback Owen Schmidt, and he's sent flying by Jonathan Wade, the cornerback. Owen Schmidt, who played in Seattle, known for his blocking, just a rough, tough fullback. They needed somebody to fill in for Leonard Weaver. Michael Vick, Tim talked about this in the pregame show, no matter how well he plays, and everyone's wishing him well, the starting quarterback next week will be Kevin Kolb. He has been cleared to practice and cleared
He practiced yesterday. I think Cobb went out there and did some practicing yesterday.
Garrett Mills in the tight end. Handoff in, the fake handoff, Vic throws, completes the Brent Selleck for a first down. Up to the 42. And one thing Andy Reid talked about offensively is patience in the passing game.
And you saw a good example of it there. He wants Mike Vick to read the defense, make a decision, and get the ball out on time. And that was a good illustration of it right there. Mike dropped back, got to his 5th step, read cover 2. Receiver sat down right in the middle of the zone, and Mike delivered the football on time.
Sammy Hill in for Ndamukong Suh. Suh with a shoulder problem going to the sideline. And the handoff inside to Mike Bell. No gain on the play. For more on what's going on with Mike Vick, we go downstairs to Chris Myers.
Well, Sam, I spoke with a longtime associate of his through the years, even when he was incarcerated, and he said Michael Vick, when he was back in Atlanta, did not put in as much time watching film, hung with his friends, ate a lot of fast food, but now that time he's changed. He has a family environment around him, eating healthier, he's spending more time in the film room, and Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, said when he brought him in, he said, we're going to make the commitment, I want you to be better than you were when you were in Atlanta.
Vick back, pressured, hit, and the pass is incomplete. You're right about that, Chris. He's changed his lifestyle, more involved with community service, engaged to be married.
Yeah, and wants to be the best ambassador he can be. He gets lit up right here by Lawrence Jackson, who comes underneath and puts a nice clean shot on Mike Vick. You know, one thing about Mike, with all that athletic ability and all the ability to extend plays, which is awesome. You follow him throughout his career. He gets sacked throughout his career, Sam, once every 6 pass attempts.
Riley Cooper in as a 3rd wide receiver on 3rd and 9. Eagles 1 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. Blitz coming. Vick spinning away, gets rid of it, and completes it to Riley Cooper. His first NFL catch. The rookie out of Florida. A Tim Tebow favorite when he played at Florida, and Vick got away from the blitz and found his man.
Yeah, and this helps it right here. Watch the little snug formation, and the receiver helps just for a second. You see there, he gets a little bit on Lawrence Jackson. Then you get the blitzer coming outside of him, and then Mike's ability to spin out of it is ridiculous. And a lot of those corners that aren't used to coming on the pass rush, especially with a guy like Vick, you have got to aim for his upfield shoulder, or he'll spin right out the back door.
20-yard gain. Vick on first down, throwing deep, and almost intercepted. He tried to get it to Deshaun Jackson, and Jonathan Wade had it in his hands, but dropped it.
And this is what Mike Vick does. I mean, you think about defending Mike Vick, a normal quarterback, and here's Kevin Cobb. I mean, usually about 3.5 seconds, the ball's out, it's on time, it's gone. And you have to cover for about 3.5 seconds. But against Mike Vick, you've got to defend longer, you've got to rush longer, you've got to stay after it as he extends the play here. Look at this play from last week, almost 8 seconds before Mike Vick got rid of the football. All 11 guys on defense staying alive for 8 seconds versus 3.5 is a whole different animal.
On 2nd and 10, Vick staying in the pocket, throwing deep too high. Intended for Jason Avant. Bears are moving in Dallas. Let's find out what's happening from Kurt Menefee.
Moving and grooving. Jay Cutler hooking up with Devin Hester. Watch this catch. One hands it and gets both feet down. The Bears take the lead and are driving again, trying to add more right before halftime.
Thanks, Kurt, to Mike Mart's offense, putting 17 points on the board in the first half against Dallas.
Yeah, they only got 19 points in the game last week against Detroit, but almost 500 yards of offense. Matt Forte was out of his brain.
Lawrence Jackson in at defensive end for the Lions. His first game as a Lion, did not play last week. Vick steps up, and he runs for it. The Lions got him, they spin him down, he's very close to a first down. And I think that last spin was enough to get the first down at the 27-yard line.
Chris Myers talked about it a little while ago. He said, Mike, despite what people have always thought about him and the perception, he wants to be a passer first, runner second. We've seen him over the last 2 pass plays throw a couple right into coverage, one that should have been intercepted. That time, I think that was the old Mike Vick. When in doubt, tuck it and run.
Mike Vick to the sideline. as the chains come out to measure.
Good pursuit, though, by Ndamukong Suh running down the field. That guy is learning from Kyle Vanden Bosch how to play snap to whistle.
And let's remember, Mike Vick has to be very careful here and pick his spots. The measurement is first down. Because with Kevin Cobb out and not here, there's only one backup quarterback, Mike Kafka, rookie out of Northwestern.
And yeah, and he said he was not going to run as much today and try to be a playmaker, but because of that, and he gets injured and is off the field, and then Kafka is out there. But you know, in the heat of the battle, as he said last night, instincts are going to take over, and there will be plenty of times, not by design, but that I'll have to use my legs to make a play.
First down at the Lions 27. Schmidt the fullback, McCoy the tailback, the play fake. Vick waits and throwing short to Owen Schmidt out of the backfield. Good grab and a first down for the Eagles. Inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. Steady drive by the Eagles down the field.
Yeah, and the corner's got the deep third here. So you're going to see Schmidt. He's going to come out. Julian Peterson's got the flat. He's got to get out there and cover the fullback. And you can see he just turns and tries to get back to the curl. You've got Wade back here with the out route, the 9 route. That was a busted coverage and an easy pickup for Owen Schmidt and the Eagles.
10th play of the drive. Vick with time, throws, trying to get it to Brent Selleck. Selleck covered well by Julian Peterson. 2 rushes, 8 passes in this drive for the Eagles, which started at their own 26-yard line. Brent Selleck, an excellent receiver. They've been working on his blocking.
Yeah, he said Andy Reid, the old tight end coach, was giving him the extra pointers all week during practice.
Riley Cooper back in as a 3rd wide receiver. McCoy in the backfield. McCoy straight ahead to the goal line. He's hit. Touchdown. Just a very simple handoff, and LeSean McCoy takes it in, a 14-yard touchdown run.
Perfect play call for this defense. Look at the 2 D tackles. They are in a split look. One here, Vanden Bosch is want to be the guy to make the play. No chance as he gets rocked by Mike McGlynn. Good block there on Landon Johnson. That was too easy. That was something that Philadelphia saw on tape. Look, they're going to get into that split 6 look with those 2 defensive tackles. We're going to run this little bender inside, and they got good blocks all the way across the front.
One man the Lions miss is DeAndre Levy, the middle linebacker.
Huge.
He's out again. He's close to returning, but they're holding him out. Probably be back next week. But the Eagles with an excellent drive down the field. 74-yard drive in 11 plays. And the Lions lead is cut to 17-14. Kyle Vanden Bosch not happy with that. Hey, you'll be happy if you tune into this show. CYUSA Today calls Lone Star the best new show in this fall. A con man will use every trick he knows to keep his world of lies from crumbling around him. One man, 2 lives, the perfect con. Don't miss the Lone Star series premiere After House tomorrow on Fox, starring my man John Voight.
The champ.
Here's my man Chris Myers.
All right, Sam, the man Nate Burleson, who expected, at least in pregame warmups, was telling me he thought he would have a big day, or at least a lot of opportunity, because of the way the Eagles blanket and bracket Calvin Johnson suffered an ankle injury. The Lions have looked at it, and he is unlikely to return. So they're a little thin at receiver overall, but Nate Burleson hurting and unlikely to play later in this game.
Thanks for the update, Chris. Bad news for the Lions. Nate Burleson, as Tim alluded to earlier in the game, can be a big force on this offense for the Lions.
Yeah, and I think what we'll see is more 12 personnel, which is one running back, 2 tight ends. I think for the Lions defense with 2 wide receivers, and the guy being Brian Johnson stepping in there as the number 2 for Nate Burleson.
Good ball game here.
It feels different around here, and we've been here for several years doing games. Obviously, Jimmy's first year last year. You get a different vibe when you walk into that building in terms of how this team, I think, feels about themselves and what their expectations are this year.
Very much so. Akers to kick it off. Stephon Logan from the 3. Looking for a man, spinning away from 1, but Dimitri Patterson took him down. Good good coverage. The Eagles struggled with a couple of mistakes on kickoff coverage last week. Jahvid Best has had a great start to this game. He's found some good holes, used his quickness. Here's a 33-yard run. And then the touchdown run of 14. And then a screen pass of 75 yards.
And it's gotten a lot of support from guys blocking down the field. His vision is ridiculously good today. He was tentative last week in the opener against Chicago. Today he's been really good.
Best stop for a loss. Quinton Michael, the safety, on the tackle. Gaither, the middle linebacker, playing for Stuart Bradley, who will be back next week.
Lions offensively are already about 40 yards over what they accomplished last week in 4 quarters of football.
Scheffler, the tight end, in the slot. Hill steps up, nobody open, runs for it. And Shaun Hill shows some mobility. Takes a hit as he gets across the 25-yard line. About a yard short of a first down. Good job by Hill. Nate Allen came in for the hit.
Well, Jahvid Best has played well in this half. I want you to watch this. Watch these two guys as he leaks out on the swing route. Gone. Now it's man coverage. Shaun sees it. Look how wide open the middle of the field is.
A lot of room. Here's the toss to Best. Cuts it back. And he's tripped up. Otherwise, that could have been a long gainer. Quinton Michael makes the stop. First down, Lions. Quinton Michael making the tackle. It's been a long road to starting as safety for the Eagles. Man who made the team first on special teams and took several years.
And not only did he make it on special teams, college free agent out of Boise State, he was the MVP of the special teams for a couple of years. He shed Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, who used to be his defensive backs coach. Instrumental, Sam, in his development. Quinton Michael led this defense in tackles last year.
Shaun Hill decides not to snap the ball, but go to the sideline. It's a 2-minute warning with the Lions leading the Eagles 17-14.
How good is this with Shaun Hill? You got to love this guy. The cowboy looking for his cowboy hat. It's like, okay, I didn't make it the 8 seconds. I just got bucked off. Now I got to go find my hat. Got to get my head down. I might go look for a barrel to climb into. He's been impressive. He's had one bad play, the one he hung up for the interception on their first drive.
Hill hit as he throws, and the pass is off the hands of Brian Johnson and incomplete.
See, everybody talks about Shaun Hill and has no arm strength. Can I tell you that that was an indicator of pretty good arm strength? Now, it didn't look good. It was wobbling. It didn't have great velocity. It wasn't a tight spiral. But it got there on time, and the receiver dropped it.
Good job by the Eagles thus far on Calvin Johnson. 1 catch, 7 yards. Tony Scheffler, tight end, splits out. Aaron Brown in the backfield. Hill throws to Scheffler. Brought down by Joselio Hansen. Short pickup up to the 39-yard line. Lions have all 3 of their timeouts.
And exactly as I said, they're going with the 1 running back and the 2 tight ends with Nate Burleson being down. So Scheffler, Pettigrew, Bryant Johnson, and Calvin are the 4 weapons along with Jahvid Best.
Back, they go no huddle. Hill puts it up for Calvin Johnson. Leaping try, and it's intercepted. No, they rule incomplete. They say the ball hit the ground. Quinton Michael thought it was an interception. He went up with Calvin Johnson. Great effort by both players.
Yeah, it'll be a booth review if it goes up there. If it's worthy, being under 2 minutes here in the half. Calvin goes up to get it. As he comes down, it looked like the ball right there as he went down hit the ground and moved a little bit. Good call over there by the side judge.
Michael tried to sell the steal, but the ball hitting the ground.
Was his hand under it? This is going to be another one. They get it off on time.
Nick Harris with a punt. Good high kick. Sean Jackson backpedals. Takes it on a fair catch at the 11-yard line. Minute 12 remaining. 50-yard punt. No return. Stay with us for the Visa halftime report. Send you back to the studios. Curt Menefee standing by with the gang. Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They've got scores and highlights of all the games around the league. And of course, our Fox Sports ticker gets you updated with up-to-the-second stats from all the games going on. The Visa Halftime Report is coming up next.
A couple observations early in the first half here. I think Mike Vick has been good. I think the offensive line for Philadelphia has been pretty good because they got their hands full against this Detroit front four. Getting the ball out to the perimeter to the guys in space. Obviously, Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, but MVP of the first half, no question. Javid Best, running back for the Lions. I think 170 total yards so far in the game.
Hand off inside, McCoy breaks it out with a nice little cutback and a good pickup of 10 for a first down.
We got Delmas coming off the field now. Phillips is coming in for him.
And they stop the clock as Delmas gets up limping. That is a real bad sign for the Lions.
Came in with a bad groin.
They're missing Cliff Averill on the front line. They're missing DeAndre Levy at middle linebacker, and now Louis Delmas limping to the sideline. We talk about this guy. He has got star caliber. This guy at safety can hit hard. He can cover. He started 15 games last season, had 2 interceptions, both returned for touchdowns. This guy is the goods, and they have a star in the making at every level on defense.
Well, and that's what you need. And I think Martin Mayhew and Jimmy are doing a wonderful job of building this team. And you think about it, Ndamukong Suh up front, with the huge future I think he's going to have. They think the same thing about DeAndre Levy, who they're missing today, their middle linebacker. And then Coach Schwartz told us last year, Louis Delmas, without question, was the best player on that side of the ball in terms of their defensive football team.
The rookie Randy Phillips, rookie out of Miami, is in replacing Louis Delmas. Jason Avantin is the third wide receiver for the Eagles. Vick staying in the pocket to Avant up to the 30-yard line. And the Eagles use the timeout. Just under a minute to go in this first half. Eagles scored first. Lions got the next 17 points. And the Eagles answered back with a good drive. Schwartz's team responding after a difficult loss last week in Chicago. Here's what the touchdowns look like. Michael Vick, 45-yard hookup with Deshaun Jackson on the pass and run. Javid Best finishes off a 76-yard drive with a 14-yard run. Then Best takes a screen pass from Sean Hill, 75 yards to the house. And answered by LaShawn McCoy with a 14-yard touchdown run. 17-14, Lions leading it. Riley Cooper in as the third wide receiver for the Eagles. On second and short, Vick drops back, waiting and putting it up deep. Out there is Jackson, and the catch is made. Great pass. It's Jeremy Mack. No, it is Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson with a beautiful grab again, gets down the field, and he's down at the 17.
What a great throw, Sam, from Michael Vick. Are you kidding me?
53-yard gain.
21-21 in terms of the yard line where he threw to and where it ended up. That ball is absolutely perfect, and Mike Vick extending the play once again by moving around in the pocket. That ball traveled nearly 60 yards in the air with a flick.
Mike Vick
flick.
Tremendous strength and just an easy release. And when he's on target, he becomes some passer. The question has been in the past about his accuracy. Kyle Vanden Bosch shaking up on the play.
Yeah, he ran into Mike McGlynn. We saw McGlynn block him on the touchdown run by LaShawn McCoy. And I think they had a pass rush stunt going up at the top where Kyle pulled back inside working with Ndamukong Suh, and McGlynn had him again. Looked like Kyle tripped up and went down and then stayed down.
Looks like he'll be okay as he heads for the sideline. Mike McGlynn in his first NFL start. Third-year man out of Pittsburgh, taking over as the starting center from Jamal Jackson.
Tell you, I think a big feather in his cap is understanding everything in this game mentally. Being out here being a starter today, not too big for him, because with Jamal Jackson trying to get back and get healthy this summer, Nick Cole, as Andy Reid told us, Mike McGlynn, took all the reps at center. They did not let Nick Cole take any of the reps.
Eagles go empty backfield in scoring position late in the first half.
Here comes the blitz.
Here they come. Vick gets rid of it, incomplete. Trying to get it to Riley Cooper. Good pressure from the outside by Lawrence Jackson. Jackson, a former first-round draft pick of the Seattle Seahawks, 2 years in Seattle, but didn't fit their system, and he was picked up in a trade.
And you would get nothing even close to Lawrence Jackson in the 6th round. Gunther Cunningham right there. You know he's going to blitz their empty when it's just Mike Vick back there with no running threat. You can go back to when Gunn coached against him when he was in Kansas City in like 2004. My goodness, did they get after Vick in that football game.
Eagles have 1 timeout remaining. Second down at the Lions 17. Blitz coming again. All-out blitz, and they get there, and he gets away. Vick running inside the 15, inside the 10, and out of bounds at the 5-yard line. I mean, everybody was coming.
Well, Gunn said that he blitzed him 50 times in the other matchup when he was in Kansas City. There's the mistake, though, right there. Free runner, you've got to go to the upfield shoulder. That's the shoulder that's facing up the field, back the other way, because if you don't do that, the good ones, especially guys like Vick, are going to spin and go right out the back door. Lawrence Jackson, as a DN pass rusher, Sam, he's got to know that.
First and goal, 12-yard run. Vick gets time, swings it outside McCoy, and he's tripped up. Beautiful tackle by Jonathan Wade. You know what? Gunther Cunningham has faced Mike Vick in the past. When he was at Kansas City 2004, Vick and the Atlanta Falcons came in. First drive, they marched down the field. After that, it was all-out blitz by the Chiefs. They went after Vick, sending everybody after him, and they shut him down. And Kansas City had the big win over Atlanta.
50 blitzes in a row in that game. Now, it was that defense, it was Gunther calling the blitzes, it was the 12th man in the stands at Arrowhead. That place rocks. It's great for the defense. They need to get that going here at Ford Field, where this crowd can get some wins under their belt, hopefully from their team, and start to get real excited and real loud.
That's a good combination, Jim Schwartz and Gunther Cunningham. 2 excellent defensive minds. They work well together. Gunther says when nobody's around on Thursday nights, Jim comes in and just starts talking and keeps going.
And Gunther is loyal now. Worked for 2 head coaches in pro football, Marty Schottenheimer and Jimmy Schwartz, and he loves Jim.
Second and goal at the 9. Vick pressured, throws, touchdown! Jeremy Maclin with a catch down on the ground. 9-yard touchdown pass by Mike Vick to Jeremy Maclin, and the Eagles have regained the lead.
And that is way too easy. And I know Gunther Cunningham got good pressure on the quarterback, made Mike get it out quick. And Maclin, who's right here on an island against Houston, oh, that's a push-off. That is a push-off, and that's what Gunther Cunningham is upset about. Jeremy Maclin, no doubt, pushed off Chris Houston to get him. That was an overt push to get himself some separation, and then got the touchdown. That was OPI, offensive pass interference.
Not called. Eagles will take it. 89-yard drive in 58 seconds and 7 plays. Michael Vick hitting the big pass to Deshaun Jackson of 53 yards, and the Eagles regain the lead seconds before the end of the half.
Now this is hard enough, man coverage out on an island all by yourself. He was going to run a little slant and then back to the corner, and then a clear push off to get himself some separation, and Mike unloads the football.
Mike Vick 12 for 20, 2 touchdown passes.
Now the one thing on that play there is the push-off clearly happened before the ball was in the air. As Maclin pushed off to get separation, Mike had not yet released the football yet.
12 for 20, 185 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and the offense doing the job for the Eagles. led by Mike Vick with 40 yards rushing.
And as excited as Mike is for this opportunity, what he did last week against the Packers, I said, all right, now let's call it like it is. What are you doing when Kevin comes back? And he goes, you know what? When they picked up my option in the offseason, I knew exactly what the situation was going to be. I'm here to support Kevin. I'll be the best backup I can be. And I'm going to hold it down until Kev gets back, bottom line.
Akers line drive kick. Logan goes over. Bobbleson picks it up at the 5. Stephon Logan on the return. Wrapped up at the 25-yard line. Let's go to the sideline. Chris, what's happening?
Well, Michael Vick, and he talked to us about, he thought everything would come back to him a lot quicker, his speed, his legs, and it was a blessing that he didn't have the pressure to play right away and be the #1 quarterback and learn under the Eagles. And as you mentioned, Tim Ryan, in the pregame show on Fox, he said there were times in his career he thought he'd never play football again, but now this renewed interest, he wants to play 7 or 8 more years.
Well, let's face it. He is auditioning for the future. He wants to be a starter in the league. If it can't be here in Philadelphia, next season it might be somewhere else. Terrific first half. Good offense for both teams. VSiN halftime report coming up next. Eagles lead the Lions 21-17. Welcome back to Ford Field in Detroit. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, Chris Myers getting set for the start of the second half. With the Eagles leading 21-17, the game has gone back and forth. Who will win out? Will it be Mike Vick and the Eagles offense or Jahvid Best and the Lions offense? Best has been the key to their offensive attack.
It's really been a lot of fun to watch both of these guys. That was an entertaining first half. Jahvid Best has been really out of his mind in the run game, the pass game, getting very good blocks downfield from his receivers in the passing game. In the run game, I thought his offensive line was giving him some real nice creases. Defensively, I think for the Lions, a couple of things. They've done okay in the run game, and they got 1 sack in the game. They had 4 last week, but they've had opportunities to get Mike Vick. And I know a lot of it is Mike Vick, but when you get the opportunity as a free runner to sack Mike Vick and you are unblocked, you need to make that play. We saw a couple of times that Vick was able to extend it and then drive it down the field and get some points on the board. So make the plays on defense.
And just again, indicative of Quick getting his legs back and his quickness back. Key men on kickoff coverage for the Lions: Isaiah Kajuba, Stephon Logan, Spencer Hayner. Jason Hanson kicks it off. Ellis Hobbs from the 5. Gets a block, tries to get outside, but the Lions have it well covered. And he's brought down at the 20-yard line. Alphonso Smith on the tackle. And the man who makes all our plays is Chris Myers on the sideline.
Well, Sam, I talked to Jim Schwartz, and he was saying just what Tim was talking about. He said, we've had chances with Michael Vick. We have to take better angles on defense. Schwartz said, thank goodness there was the reversal on the Deshaun Jackson no catch, where he said 2 weeks in a row there would have really been something wrong with the world. He did say Shaun Hill has to pick up the pace on offense. Meanwhile, Andy Reid said we expected him to blitz, and they have. Michael Vick has done everything we've asked of him as a passer. If he has to run to win this game, we'll take that too. Sam, Tim?
Thanks, Chris. On first down, Vick throws and completes it to Jeremy Maclin. And Maclin out of bounds, a first down across the 30-yard line. Last 2 possessions for the Eagles have resulted in touchdowns.
And Mike has found his groove in the passing game, and that's what Andy Reid wants to see out of him. Just sit back there, get the ball out on time. And he can do that, and that's what Mike said. I said, they're going to want to keep you in the pocket this game. Mike goes, yeah, what's new? He goes, hey, that's going to be their mistake, because this offense really suits me well. I know where to go with the ball. You know who was a huge asset to him?
Yeah.
Sam, Donovan McNabb.
You're right.
Being in that room with McNabb for a year was huge for Mike Vick.
4 wide receivers for the Eagles. Riley Cooper and Jason Avant in. Vick gets time, and he completes it. Good coverage by Wade and a good catch by Deshaun Jackson up to the 39-yard line.
Very good throw right there in traffic. Yeah, I think a couple things with looking at Mike Vick is clearly he's back physically. He said the strength coach has been big for that, Barry Rubin, the new guy with the free weights. But he said sitting in that room for a year with Donovan McNabb and Donovan getting him to the building early, being one of the first guys in, one of the last guys to leave.
Learning good habits from McNabb.
He said, I was never like that, and now I've just continued it. Donovan got me in the habit of doing it. Now I can't stop doing it. You can see it's paying off here on the field.
McCoy breaking a couple of tackles and a good run up to the 46-yard line.
Unbelievable.
And he picks up a first down.
When you think of all the stars that are gone off this team, you go back 2 years, and I know Andy Reid said that's the toughest part, is letting go of the stars and rebuilding, and they had to. No doubt when you look at the age they had on the team, but you go back 2 years, they got 28 new players on this roster, and they're all young.
Yeah. They only have 6 players over 30, and 3 of them are on special teams. The 2 kickers and the long snapper. The blitz from the outside, and a great job by the Lions as Mike Bell was stopped by Chris Houston. Blitzing from the outside. Houston came over in a trade from Atlanta. His 4th year in the league.
And you're going to see him popping from over here. He comes out from the corner position and just kind of scoots into the slot as soon as the ball was snapped. Mike never saw him, turned and handed it to the running back, and Chris Houston cleaned it up for a tackle for loss.
Jason Peters, who's been injured twice in this game, is back in for the Eagles, starting the second half at left tackle. McCoy and Schmidt in the backfield with Vick, who throws off the hands and incomplete. Pass intended for Jeremy Maclin. Look at first half statistics. Rushing, the Lions over 109 yards, led by Javid Best with 76. The passing, Mike Vick 177, hooking up with Deshaun Jackson for 98 yards in the first half. Total yardage pretty close. McCoy in the backfield. This is 3rd and 13. They have to get to the Lions 44 for a first down. Vick standing in there is brought down from behind. Second sack of the game. Sammy Hill and Kyle Vanden Bosch were there. Hill getting playing time with Cliff Averill out.
If you can keep Mike Vick in the pocket and get good coverage down the field and make him get to his 2nd or 3rd read, he's going to take sacks. And look at this umbrella they've got around Vick. Coverage there, coverage there. Mike's got nowhere to go with the ball. And the D linemen just stay alive, hemming them up inside and getting themselves a sack.
Good high punt. Logan waved for a fair catch late. The flag came out as he was hit, and I believe it's going to be interference with a fair catch.
And there's a new rule in the NFL now that you've got to give him, even if he muffs it, you've got to give him fair opportunity to return the muff. So he may have called the fair catch, but I think either way you look at it, it's going to be a penalty either for that or for the defender not giving him the opportunity to possess the muff after it hit him.
Stephon Logan to the sideline. The Eagles special teams are led by Bobby April, who spent the last 6 years in Buffalo.
Illegal downfield against the kicking team, number 49. That penalty's declined. Interference with the opportunity to catch a kick by the kicking team. That penalty be accepted and forced 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
So a couple of flags on the play. They accept the interference with a fair catch.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the new KFC Double Down. By the Dodge Challenger. Visit your local Dodge dealer today. And by Bud Light Lime. The just right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor.
Defensive line is the key to the defense for the Lions. Chris Kasurek is the defensive line coach. Javid Best for the Lions on first down. Nothing there. He's dropped for a loss. Mike Patterson, the defensive tackle, leading the way. We go back down to the sideline to Chris Myers.
Sam, I talked with Chris Kasurek, the defensive line coach, before the game. He said usually people say slow rush a guy like Michael Vick, but he said we can't slow down our rush, especially with Kyle Vanden Bosch. He said he played 79 snaps last week and came off the field, said he wasn't tired. He said in practice he touches the ball every play, chasing runners downfield. He has inspired and made this an entirely new defensive line.
Thanks, Chris. 2nd and 13 out to Best, and he's shoved out of bounds by Asante Samuel at the 35-yard line. It'll be a 3rd and 11 for the Lions.
I don't think they want to slow down their rush, and Kyle Vanden Bosch, you see him there with his D-line teammates. They aren't going to slow down their rush, but they got to rush with responsibility, as I call it. You can't go with reckless abandon against Mike Vick and get too deep up the field as a pass rusher and really get past his level, because he'll just slip up inside, slip out the side door. So rush hard, rush relentless, but rush with responsibility.
Two tight ends in. Scheffler splits out to the left. On third down, pressure on Hill, and he throws it behind Calvin Johnson. Good pressure coming up from Trent Cole.
One of the best year after year, and a guy that's never talked about. He's going to take the inside move right inside Jeff Backus. He'll flash upfield, bang, right inside. He'll split Sims and Backus and get a hit on Sean Hill, who absolutely had to get rid of it with no accuracy before he was ready to throw it.
Eagles have had only one sack in the game, but they've gotten a lot of pressure on Sean Hill. That's one thing they want to do is get him off his game. Third punt of the game by Nick Harris. Line drive kick. Taken by Deshaun Jackson. Cut it back nicely. The Lions able to take him down at the 33-yard line. So the Eagles defense doing a good job.
It's like Eka Chuba is down out there.
Those are the guys up front for the Lions. Kyle Vanden Bosch, Turk McBride starting it in for Cliff Averill, and Ndamukong Suh, the #1 pick for the Lions, #2 overall, and Corey Williams, another big man up front.
Is that blitz again?
Screen pass to McCoy, juggled it, and then turns it into a short gain. A couple of yards on the play. Let's check out what's happening in Green Bay and go to Kurt Manafay.
Well, it's not exactly Michael Vick, but Aaron Rodgers led all quarterbacks in rushing yards last year. So he's got the wheels to run it in from 9 yards out. Packers in their home opener on top of Buffalo easily, 27-7 as they start the fourth quarter. Sam and Tim.
He's got your kind of mobility. He can get there. Touchdown, Aaron Rodgers. Thanks, Kurt. Mike Bell in at running back. 2nd and 7. Vick gets time. Now he's brought down. Protection broke down. He had enough time. Nobody open downfield. Late flag. Was that a horse collar tackle?
Well, there is no horse collar in the pocket. There's no such thing
right.
as a horse collar tackle in the pocket. So a face mask, I think, by Ndamukong Suh, just the way that Mike Vick violently went down to the ground. And he is a beast now, Ndamukong Suh. And you know, I know fans don't want to hear it, but a good year for this guy, a good year for defensive tackles, even as talented as he is going to be 4 or 5 sacks and 50 tackles.
There is no foul on the play for face mask.
Okay.
The hand was on the side of the helmet.
All right. They picked the flag up. Good job by the officials to check it out.
And he's already got 2 sacks now. Look at that natural ability to dip, stay on his feet under Nick Cole, and just rip Mike Vick down with one hand over his shoulder pads. That's why it looked like a face mask to the side judge down here, because as violently as Mike went to the ground. That's just all man strength from Ndamukong Suh, grabbing him by the shoulder pad and cranking him to the turf.
Ndamukong Suh's 2nd NFL sack, had one last week, puts the Eagles in 3rd and 15. Vick steps up, trip, stays on his feet and throws. Open man Deshaun Jackson. And the catch made at the Lions' 40-yard line. Again, the ability of Mike Vick to keep plays alive.
Good pressure, too, from Ndamukong Suh again. Mike Vick, here's Suh. He's going to come in here. Vick's going to step up and extend time. Look at that natural crease right there for him to escape. Of course, he's able to flip his hips or flip his shoulders and square him up in the pressure. And Gunther knows it on those defensive backs. You got to cover for about 6 seconds when Vick's out there.
Good job by Jackson keeping his feet in bounds, knowing exactly where he was along the sideline. LaShawn McCoy on 1st down carries for 5 yards. That play to Jackson was a 29-yard gain.
Let's watch C.C. Brown here. He's got the deep half. Oh, he gets squeezed inside by Jason Avant. He's got the deep half. That is his out to the edge. The corner let him go, thinking that he had a safety in the deep half. C.C. Brown bit on the teaser route inside of him on Jason Avant, which allowed Deshaun Jackson to be wide open.
McCoy and Schmidt in the backfield. On second down, everybody out. Throw is short, but good for a first down on the grab by Jeremy Maclin, his third catch of the game.
And talking about rushing with responsibility, you've got to contain Mike Vick. You got to contain him with your defensive ends, and you see those guys, Aaron McBride on the left, Vandenbosch on the right, and then on the inside, you got to rush again with responsibility in your rush lanes, and you got to keep them in the box. And they talk about the pocket, keeping Vick in the pocket. There's the pocket. It's the tackle-to-tackle box. That's where you've got to hem him up inside. Now, if he escapes anywhere, you want him to escape away from his throwing arm.
Vick gets rid of it to Brent Selleck, the tight end. Slips one man and fights his way down to the 21-yard line. Mike Vick again ad-libbing the play and flipping it to Brent Selleck. One guy we haven't, I don't think, put enough emphasis on offensively for the Eagles is Deshaun Jackson having a big game. 4 catches, 135 yards. His first 100-yard game of the season, 7th of his career. So he's been a big target for Mike Vick.
And he got it going right away in the first quarter with that long catch and run, sat down in the zone, and then ran away from everybody. And then the 29-yard hookup you just saw there.
Second and short, McCoy cuts it back. It's inside the 20. And maybe just a little bit short of the first down line. Zach Follett and Lawrence Jackson combined for the tackle. There is Zach Follett, second-year man out of California, 7th-round draft pick. Mike Vick, 290 yards total offense, 250 passing, 40 rushing. Here's third and less than a yard. McCoy and Bell in the backfield for the Eagles.
Yep, I knew it.
Pitch to McCoy, and plenty of room inside the 10, and out at the 7-yard line.
There's a horse collar.
And a flag goes down as Louis Delmas, who was injured in the first half, took down LaShawn McCoy.
Great play called by Marty Morton-Henwig. There's all the beef. They're going to run the flip 90 just out to the right with McCoy. C.C. Brown out leveraged. Look at the heat by Delmas there.
Horse collar
jumped up on the horse collar.
Defense, number 26. Penalty being forced half the distance to the goal line. First down.
How many guys did he just pass on the way to LaShawn McCoy? That was a great call there. There's Marty Morton-Henwig, the offensive coordinator, former head coach here with the Detroit Lions. And I'm telling you, and every guy that comes in, we talk to the Eagles, I say the best quarterback on your roster, that guy right there. Marty Morton-Henwig was a legend on the West Coast out in the Bay Area. Really, really a good high school and college player.
First and goal at the 4. McCoy finds the opening. He's in. Touchdown. The Philadelphia Eagles have been able to drive down the field. This drive was 65 yards. And Mike Vick has done a great job of managing the offense, staying within himself, passing when he has to, running when he has to, and making plays.
He's got these guys off balance because what he came out here clearly in the second half and has been doing is running the offense. Just getting back and making plays, taking what the defense is giving him underneath, putting pressure on those guys, and then the 2 or 3 times he had to extend plays with his legs, he's made the Lions pay for it.
And LaShawn McCoy has gone over 100 yards rushing. The Eagles offense rolling. Since being down 17-7, they have scored 3 unanswered touchdowns on good drives. David Akers. And the extra point is through. And the Eagles have a 28-17 lead.
Some really good blocks. One there by Justice, and then Maclin just enough on Alphonso Smith. He has to go around him, gives the crease. Touchdown.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
Big game for LaShawn McCoy, his first career 100-yard game. His high last year was a 99-yard game. Right now he's over 100. Kickoff, Stephon Logan, 1 yard deep. Good blocks as Logan returns to the 24-yard line. Lions need a spark now.
Well, I know McCoy got a spark from his O-line. He knows where his bread's buttered. He says, fellas, keep rolling it up. I'll keep punching it in.
We are back in Detroit where the Eagles have an 11-point lead. The Lions start from the 23. Off the fake, Hill throwing to the tight end, Pettigrew. Good grab by Brandon Pettigrew up to the 48-yard line. And we have to correct something. We had a computer glitch that threw LeSean McCoy's numbers out of whack. He has 11 carries for 64 yards. We apologize. We had a computer error on that. Machine fouled up. And we went with it, and we fouled up. He's 11 carries, 64 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Right here, good pickup on first down by the Lions. Oh, Maurice Morris carries again. 9-year veteran who came over to the Lions last season that played with Seattle.
Remember the game of the season when Arizona came to town? He blew it up. Remember Maurice Morris had a big game that day. Anytime he's played, whether it was for Sean Alexander out in Seattle or since he's been here, he always seems to put some positive things together.
Morris trying to cut it back, scrambling forward. They mark him down at just across the 49-yard line. Pickup of a yard on the play. Right now the crowd has been silenced. The Eagles are taking. The Lions need a spark. Trevor Law is in on the defensive line for the Eagles. Scheffler, tight end, splits out.
Watch Scheffler on a little zone beater right here with a corner on him. Jocelio Hansen.
Pick up the blitz, and the pass is intercepted. Stepping in front of Calvin Johnson was Ellis Hobbs to pick it off. The Eagles' second interception of the game. Eagles have done a great job on Calvin Johnson, and Ellis Hobbs steps up with the INT.
Yeah, and I think Sean Hill was expecting Calvin Johnson. Here's the interception by Sean Hill, and Sam, he wishes he had this one back. Watch Pettigrew here, wide open. The bracket's going to come over on Scheffler. There's nobody around Brandon Pettigrew. He is uncovered. Sean tries to force it into Calvin Johnson. Bad throw, ends up being intercepted. Wrong decision, thrown to the wrong guy.
Eagles start from the 44. Vick is brought down. Eagles were trailing 17-7 in the first half. They have come up with 21 unanswered points. Touchdown run by LeSean McCoy, 14 yards. And the touchdown pass to Jeremy Maclin late in the first half. And then LeSean McCoy with a touchdown run again. 3 touchdowns by the Eagles after they were down by 10 points.
Pretty impressed with the offensive line. McGlynn getting his first start. They have been a mash unit all camp. The guys not playing a lot of football together, and big challenge against this defensive line, and they have showed up front, Philadelphia.
Some confusion as they set the line, and they call a timeout. First timeout of the second half for the Eagles. Mike Vick with a solid performance in his first NFL start since December 2006, when he started against the Eagles with the Atlanta Falcons. NFL on Fox. Next week, it all begins with the all-new Ford Edge Drive 1 at noon Eastern. These Lions go to Minnesota, another big division game. The Eagles go to Jacksonville. The Redskins will be at the Rams. Some of the games you'll see on Fox next week. Hope you'll tune in. Great football action on the NFL on Fox. 2nd and 11. Outstanding performance by Mike Vick. McCoy splits out. Pressure on, and they get to him that time. Big loss. Back to the 30-yard line, led by Kyle Vanden Bosch.
A 4-man rush, and 3 guys are on Mike Vick. Look at these guys, all on Mike Vick. McBride and Ndamukong Suh. They were trying to set the screen up. And before the offensive lineman can turn the defenders free, the defenders had already beaten them, which really screwed up the timing of that screen, and Van den Bosch is the one that gets the payoff. But 3 of the 4 guys were all over Mike Vick.
I'm sensing Jason Peters having a little bit of trouble with Van den Bosch's speed, especially since the injuries in the first half.
And if you're going to blitz from anywhere, that's where you blitz Mike Vick. I think make him get out the other way.
He puts it up way downfield for Macklin, and it's almost intercepted by C.C. Brown, but it falls incomplete.
Many missed opportunities. Now that's not going to be a huge one, because and yes, it's not a turnover, but it's really almost like a punch.
That's right.
If you think about it, because it's 4th down now. Seize the opportunity and go make the play. Now, to his credit, look at that big old club on his right hand. He's got a cast he's wearing on his right hand. C.C. Brown couldn't come down with the pick.
I think if there's an area on the defense that the Lions are hoping to shore up, it'll be in that secondary.
Yeah, they're an outside backer short, in my opinion, and a couple of guys short in the secondary from getting where they want to be.
Stephon Logan from the 18 steps out of bounds. No room to run as it was punted toward the sideline. These teams haven't met very often. The last time they met, they were wearing throwback uniforms in Philadelphia. And the Eagles took charge. First half, they put up 42 points.
Who's that guy?
Brian Westbrook. Who's that guy? Donovan McNabb. And the Eagles went on to a 50-21 win. A team record 42 points in the first half, and the Eagle just loved it. Nodded his head in approval. Lions start from their own 22. Quick outside. And the completion to Javid Best up to the 32-yard line. Pickup of 9. Javid Best with an outstanding game.
No, he's just been terrific, and I know they saw him as the best playmaker coming out of the draft. A lot of people were turning away from Javid Best because of his injury history at Cal with concussions. I think he had a foot injury. They loved him, and Linehan, I think, is using him perfectly in this football game.
2 tight ends in, it's Best carry. Looking for an opening, not much, but maybe enough. Looks like it'll be just enough for a first down. Javid Best, first round pick out of Cal. Great speed. Now Kevin Smith is inactive again. He's getting close to coming back. He practiced this week. Even when he comes back, Best will be the #1 guy, but
definitely.
But Smith will be a good backup to him, along with Maurice Morris. So they'll have some depth at running back. Smith is a little more powerful runner than Javid Best.
Yeah, and again, he's been terrific. Where's Calvin Johnson been in this game?
Oh, nowhere.
Sam, there's my question. That guy's got to jump up and make some plays.
Play fake pressure from the outside. Big time pressure on Sean Hill. The pass incomplete. Let's find out what's happening in Minnesota. Kurt Menefee.
Down 4 late. The Vikings get it on a turnover at the 24-yard line, but they get stopped right at the goal line. 4th and 1. They go for it. Adrian Peterson stopped by the Dolphins defense. 2:16 remaining. Miami trying to make Minnesota 0-2. Sam and Tim.
Wow. Thanks, Kurt.
The National Fake You Out League, NFL.
Coach is going for it, looking for that 1 yard. Best and Morris in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Now Best splits out.
He's got Omar Gaither on it, too.
With a tight end Pettigrew, and it was ripped away, and it's incomplete. Almost taken away by the Eagles. What an effort by Quentin Michael.
He wants this one, too. He thought he had it the first time, then the second, and then maybe the third he thought he... Sean Hill trying to force it. You see 2 defenders right there. Risky throw to Brandon Pettigrew as Quentin Michael was coming over the top.
A lot of bodies there, but the ball hit the ground. Quentin Michael with a good play. And now 3rd and 10 for the Lions. Javid Best in the backfield. Pettigrew shifts back. 2 tight ends. Hill. Pressure. And they chase him. And the pass complete to Pettigrew. Good pass on the run by Sean Hill. to the tight end Brandon Pettigrew. A first down at the Eagles' 48-yard line. Big play for the Lions. Gain of 19.
Really a good play by Shaun Hill, because he wanted Javid Best, who's here, and he tries to get out. But watch 50 Ernie Sims, knowing when Shaun Hill breaks the pocket, now he knows he can get physical with that guy. So he does inside that 5-yard chuck zone. Shaun Hill can't get him. He finds the corner route to Brandon Pettigrew on the run.
Best for a couple of yards as we come down to the end of the third quarter. The Eagles, who had the lead at halftime 21-17, added to the lead with the only score of the third quarter. A touchdown drive that was finished off by LeSean McCoy. The Eagles with a 28-17 lead. End of the third quarter in Detroit. Start of the fourth quarter at Ford Field in Detroit. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, Chris Myers on 2nd and 8. Hill pressured, throws to Javid Best, trying to break the tackle. He pulls the defender down to the 40, and a couple of flags come in.
Raiola went and cleaned up Ernie Sims.
Dominic Raiola, the center and the leader on the offensive line. Ernie Sims' former teammate in Detroit. Ernie Sims, no criticism of the coaches or the players when he left Detroit. He did say it was no fun playing. He hasn't played in a winning game in 29 consecutive games.
So he wasn't around for the 2 that they won last year. That's
16 losses the previous season. All losses that he played in last season, and 1 loss last week with the Eagles.
There are fouls against both teams on the play. Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 58. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, offense, number 51. Those penalties offset. Will replay 3rd down.
All right.
Here's Raiola cleaning up his old teammate. Ernie Sims, the running back's down. Ernie is right there, and Raiola hits him right in the back and knocks him down. So the right call and a good call. Just lucky it was offset with Trent Cole on the other side putting his hands in the face of Jeff Backus.
And they're actually replaying 2nd down for the Lions. Aaron Brown is in the backfield. Shaun Hill 11 for 24, 178 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Hill rolling and throwing and completing it. The ball pops loose. And it's ruled that he was down. Calvin Johnson ruled that he made the catch and was down at the 41-yard line, just short of the 40. Only his 2nd catch of the game, and both have been short ones.
I would love to see a sense of urgency from Calvin Johnson. And I know he's without his quarterback, and I know he hasn't had a lot of support, but this guy physically is an unbelievable talent. And you're right, the 2 catches have been both underneath for Calvin Johnson. 2 catches, only 13 yards. Time to dominate.
Physically one of the toughest matchups you'll find. Here's Hill dumping it off to Aaron Brown. He's hit. He may give him forward progress for the first down. He was hit and pushed back. Forward progress is just across the 38-yard line. That may be enough for the first down.
Yeah, I think it is. They're giving it to him for sure.
Let's see what Chris Myers is doing downstairs. Chris, what's happening on the field?
Well, Sam, I'm enjoying the game that you and Tim are calling. And Asante Samuel, who's barely 5'10", and has been on Calvin Johnson much of the game with help. Said before the game, I saw Randy Moss a lot against him and then played with him in New England in practice. So big guys don't bother me. You still have to get to the ball first.
Hill, under pressure, gets rid of it to Aaron Brown. Out of the backfield to pick up down the 29-yard line. Good play by Shaun Hill. And the Lions moving into scoring position here.
When you think about Calvin Johnson and the comparisons to Randy Moss, and he's certainly more physical than Randy, no doubt, but Randy had something about him. When it was time to go, Randy went and always seemed to make big plays at clutch times.
Tight ends in, and off to Brown. And he stopped at the 28-yard line. Looks like he may be a little short of the first down here. About a half-yard short. Big 3rd down play coming for the Lions. Trent Cole made that last tackle. Lions send in Ndamukong Suh as a blocker. He
Play
is
a little
eligible.
fullback.
He's going to be a blocker in there. Lines up at fullback in the full house backfield. And the carry by Javid Best. And he is right at that first down line.
That's not even close from where the head linesman's going to spot it. Jason Hansen's got plenty of leg. We know that.
Interesting. Ndamukong Suh said, hey, I'm honored that they want me in there. It's fourth down. They came up short. They still need about half a yard. And Suh stays in there as a blocker. And it's Best again. He didn't get there. Oh, great penetration by the Eagles. On back-to-back plays, the Eagles defensive line, and Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, loves the effort by his team. Jim Schwartz frustrated as his offense doesn't get the job done.
Today's game is sponsored by new Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. Turn shaving into gliding and skeptics into believers. By Bank of America. And by Pizza Hut. Your favorite plays deserve your favorite pizza. Your favorites, your Pizza Hut.
Well, the Lions decided not to go for the field goal with Jason Hansen. Went for it on fourth and less than a yard. And Jim Schwartz's decision came up empty.
Yeah, I thought tactical error, and in my mind, an emotional decision by Coach Schwartz. Hansen's got plenty of leg. That'd have been 46 yards. Take the points.
Vic rolls. Nobody open. Now he finds a man along the sideline. Mills. And signed this week off the
He's down. Vic is down. Louis Delmas just knifed right through Mike's lower body.
And Vic is right back in.
Oh, man.
Well, he took a big hit last week after a 31-yard run. Now close to the goal line.
I think he kind of enjoyed that one, though. Huh? You know that run, that long run he had last week? He said in the last 2 years, Vic said he's played that run in his head 300 or 400 times. But he got in the open field, his eyes got wide open.
But in his mind, he reached out and scored a touchdown. That one, he came up close.
Yeah.
14-yard pickup on that last play. Nice little cutback by LeSean McCoy. And he gets up to the 49-yard line. Here's that play from last week.
He said he thought of this one over and over and over again. He said, in my mind, though, I was going to lay out, dive in, and get 6 points. Nick Collins said, I don't think so. Minutes ago, Louis Delmas just knifes right through his knee pads.
That was a good close by Delmas.
Oh, he's
but
got
how
heat
about
now.
Vic? How many times has he taken a hit, and just as he was being hit, he released and found the guy?
He is so tough, physically tough, when you look at Mike. And you know, that guy, for about 8 or 9 years in pro football, 11 guys have been trying to take his head off every Sunday.
2nd and 4. McCoy, no hole there. Good job by the Lions up front. Bears are on the move in Dallas. Time for an update from Kurt Menefee.
And moving pretty well in the fourth quarter. That's okay. Matt Forte would score from there. 27-17, Bears leading with 5 minutes left. And by the way, Sam, also keeping an eye on the North, the Vikings lose to the Dolphins today, 14-10. Brett Favre, 4 turnovers.
Wow. Thanks, Kurt. Vikings 0-2. C.C. Brown to the sideline with an ankle injury. Randy Phillips, rookie out of Miami, replaces him. Vic in trouble, steps up, and the pass incomplete. He had Mike Bell, but the pass went through his hands. And the Eagles are forced to punt. And again, every time Vic is in trouble, he's been able to make a couple of moves to get away.
Oh, he can extend the play better than anybody. That time, Corey Williams was right in his face. Mike found more time. Now, the thing with Mike, I think, when he's on the run and with those underneath throws, is he's got to take some mustard off of that ball. Those things are coming so fast with so much velocity. seen a couple of times that underneath the running backs and receivers have been able to hold on.
Savraka's punt toward the sideline goes out of bounds, and they will spot it at the 14-yard line. Good punt by Savraka. Eagles with an 11-point lead.
Here at Ford Field, that's Eagles' #1 draft pick, Brandon Graham, who grew up in Detroit, two-time captain at Michigan. In fact, grew up a Lions fan. His high school, Crockett Vocational, not far from Ford Field, came back, bought jerseys for the team because they couldn't afford them when he played, suffering a shoulder injury. They're checking on that. We'll update at Sam and Tim as soon as we get word.
Thanks very much, Chris. We saw Andy Reid walk over to check him out. It's a big day for Brandon Graham, with over 100 family and friends here in the game. That pass to Javid Best winds up as a loss. There is the high school that Chris talked about, Crockett Career Technical Center. It is the Crockett Vocational Technical High School, and within walking distance of Ford Field. The last time that Brandon Graham played at Ford Field before today was in the high school city championship, and Crockett won it. Brandon was a junior at the time.
Already making contributions by his whole team uniforms.
Whoa! Big pressure, the ball pops loose. The big hit in the sack on Sean Hill, and Hill is slow to get up. Trevor Laws was blasting in on the play. So was Jaquay Parker. Parker's got a lot of pressure in this game.
He's been out of his mind, and he comes unblocked here. Watch Javid Best, the running back. Where are you going in protection? Javid leaks out to the other way. Peterman was looking inside, and Jaquay Parker came unblocked. 2 sacks last week. This guy right here is a 4, 5, 6 sacks a year guy. Every time he plays, though, Jaquay Parker makes big-time plays. He's done it again today.
3rd and long. They have to get to the 25. Hill, nobody open. Throws to the sideline, off the hands, incomplete. Tried to hit Javid Best, and he was well covered on the play by Ernie Sims. Sean Hill wanted an interference call. No flag on the play. And again, the Eagles do the job. They were down 17-7 in the second quarter. They've not given up a point since then, and they've scored 21 unanswered points. Sean Hill frustrated.
What is Javid Best? That was the contrast, in my opinion.
Yeah.
First half to second half, Philadelphia. Sean McDermott, their coordinator, went into the locker room and figured out how they're going to stop Javid Best.
I think he's got about 11 yards total in the second half. Hunting out of the end zone, Nick Harris. Sean Jackson looking for some room. There isn't much. He steps out of bounds. Eagles have good field position at their own 41-yard line with the ball and the lead. And the defense playing well against the Lions.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
Hey, Sam, I wondered a minute ago, what did Javid Best, what's he done here production-wise in the second half? And my question was answered. Think about this. Rushing and receiving in the first half for Javid Best, 170 total yards. Second half of this game against that Philly defense, 0 yards rushing, 9 yards receiving for number 44.
And Andy Reid was going along the bench, patting every one of his defensive players on the back for their efforts. That pass intended for Brent Selleck was dropped. Selleck gets a little chat up. There's that Eagles defense, which at one point the Lions were moving the ball very well in the first half, but then they have shut things down. 2 sacks in the game, 2 takeaways, interceptions, and holding the Lions to 14 first downs. 5 defensive backs in for Detroit on 2nd and 10. LeSean McCoy, good hold. He turns it into a big gainer. And McCoy is taken down inside the 25. Great run. And there is a flag that's going to negate that great run.
Still second out.
A 35-yard run by LeSean McCoy is wiped out on a holding penalty.
Andy's yelling at the umpire. Garth! Did you see that?
Garth DeFelice, veteran umpire.
And holding calls way up, by the way. When you look at the change in position by the umpire last week, week 1, Holding calls were up about 50%.
And now Chris Houston being checked out. What we've seen in this game is several players get banged up but come back, showing some toughness. Jason Peters was one, who was Delmas another for Detroit. Lions have a divisional matchup next week at Minnesota. Minnesota 0-2, beaten at home by Miami 14-10.
Yeah, hard to believe. Minnesota is in a funk, and Sidney Rice not being around, obviously an issue, but you still would think with Adrian Peterson, with that defense and the tight end Shanko and Berrien and Percy Harvin, offensively they have not found their way.
Nathan Vasher, who played for the Bears for several years, was in training camp with San Diego but cut. Just signed this week, is in. Eagles go with 3 wide receivers. Vick with time, throws low. Riley Cooper missed it. Cooper, the rookie out of Florida, who's been playing special teams. He and Vick worked a lot in preseason together as the backup unit, the second unit. So they worked together, got their signals and timing down.
And Riley Cooper's a big dude at about 6'3". I believe he was Tebow's teammate down in Florida. Also drafted in Major League Baseball. So he was a two-sport guy over in Florida, playing football and playing baseball.
4 wide receivers. They have to get to the Lions 48 for a first down. Vick with time, he finds Jason Avant. And Avant is brought down at the Lions 46, a first down. Good protection for Vick. 18-yard pickup as he found Avant.
Unbelievable poise by Mike Vick right there, staying in the pocket. They brought the blitz on him, which meant man coverage in the secondary. Mike was able to step up, bought himself just a little bit of time, and delivered a perfect football to Jason Avant. And Mike has been so impressive today, Sam, just not only running, extending plays, but, and I said it at the open and last week, 67% completion percentage. This guy has come a long way as a throwing quarterback.
Brandon Graham with the shoulder injury that Chris reported on, going to the locker room. LeSean McCoy, another big run. They're chasing him and they won't catch him. Touchdown. "46-yard run, and now officially LeSean McCoy is over 100 yards, his first career 100-yard rushing game.
And right up the pipe, right into the heart of that Detroit defense. It's coming right here. Vick's going to have just like a little read look. He's going to stick it in the belly. Missed tackle there. Terrible angle by the safety. And you're not going to catch LeSean McCoy when he's only got to go about 35, 40 yards.
So a big touchdown run for LeSean McCoy. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the game. And the Eagles, with 28 unanswered points, have a huge 35-17 lead. LeSean McCoy, 15 carries, 119 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Only a couple of weeks away, and then it's time for postseason baseball. We've got great baseball coverage for you on Fox. It begins with the NLCS. Great teams in pennant races. Who will make it to the NLCS? October 16th, it begins on Fox, followed by the World Series on Fox. Great postseason baseball right here. David Akers kicks off way back in the end zone, and Stefan Logan lets it fall. It's a touchback. The Detroit Lions had a 17-7 lead in this game in the second quarter with 8:16 remaining, and the Eagles have turned the game around.
And Shaun Hill is clearly agitated, as you see right there. After that was the last drive when Javid Best couldn't hang on to that wheel route that he threw to him for the first down. It's been a frustrating day, and I think most importantly a frustrating second half. This defense for Philadelphia, really their offense too, just total contrast from the first half to the second half.
And Sean Hill gets it out to Brandon Pettigrew, pick up a 5 on the play. Lions looking to go hurry up offense.
And when you're playing against Philadelphia and all that speed, you got to get the ball to your fast guys, that being your wide receivers. 4 of Sean's 16 completions, only 4, Sam, have gone to wide receivers.
Hill under pressure, gets it to Calvin Johnson, breaks 1 tackle and gets a first down as Johnson makes his best play of the game up to the 43-yard line, an 18-yard pickup. Hill under pressure, had an eagle draped around him. Defensive backs in for the Eagles. Osalio Hansen is the 5th. Hill 17 for 31, 215 yards. Goes outside to Brandon Pettigrew. Short pickup. He's hit by Asante Samuel at the 47-yard line. Hill with 1 touchdown pass and 2 interceptions. That 1 touchdown pass, a screen pass to Javid Best, who took it 75 yards.
You know Sean Hill can function in the offense. Right there, he read the blitz, he threw it to the right guy, but he's got to have help. He's got to have support from the run game, and his receivers, no doubt, have to make plays for him.
Good pass to Brandon Pettigrew. The big tight end goes down the sideline for a big gain, down to the 18-yard line. Omar Gaither chased him out of bounds. That was a big pickup. 35 yards on the play.
And out and on time. He's just going to run an option route, a leverage route on Omar Gaither. You see the outside release right there. And Gaither got bumped off by Asante Samuel. And as he did, Pettigrew just pivoted around and went to the outside. Sean Hill found him.
Aaron Brown in the backfield now for the Lions. Tony Scheffler splits out. Everybody out. Will Heller is in as a second tight end, and that time Brown left the ball behind him. Dropped it. Incomplete. Under 5 minutes to go, and with less than 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, the umpire moves to the defensive side of the board. LaShawn McCoy with a big game. Big game, rushing for 119 yards, his first 100-yard rushing game of his career.
And he was a touchdown machine at Pittsburgh, University of Pitt. 2 years as a starter, 36 touchdowns for LaShawn McCoy.
Javid Best in the backfield, flags fly as they stop the play. False start.
False start. Offense, number 66, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
On Stephen Peterman, the right guard. Brandon Pettigrew with a career-high 97 yards receiving in the game, 6 catches, 97 yards.
Unbelievable when you think about where modern medicine is. It was week 11 last year he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
He played in the opener last week and having a big impact here today. Pretty amazing.
Antoine Barnes hit at defensive end, number 51, puts some pressure on the pass to Best. Chased by Ernie Sims, he gets away. Best down to the 2-yard line. Good play by Javid Best, taking the short pass, turning it into a nice gain of 22 yards.
And a huge feather in the cap for the quarterback, because they ran everybody deep, and he just ran an angle route on Ernie Sims. Ernie couldn't be right. He played outside. Javid went inside.
Here's Best to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown. 3rd touchdown of the game for Javid Best. He has all of the Lions' touchdowns this season. He had 2 last week. He has 3 in this game.
How long have they been looking for a real playmaker at running back? Since 20 retired?
Yes. Barry Sanders. Well, this is a young man who has been very, very impressive. Didn't put up big numbers rushing last week, but scored 2 touchdowns. This week he's putting up very impressive numbers. Lions break that streak of 28 unanswered points. Movement on the line as the flags come in. Best has proven to be a good receiver as well, Tim. Out of the backfield, dangerous threat when he takes the short pass. 6 catches, 124 yards, 1 receiving touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Infraction against the defense, number 90. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Antonio Dixon, the man called for the penalty for the Eagles. 4:13 remaining. The Lions to get back to within 11 points. Hansen's extra point is good. Eagles have an 11-point lead.
Look at this.
Nice.
Over 200 total yards. Here's the big run. Little angle route that set it up. Excuse me, little angle route on Ernie Sims. Just cuts right in front of him. All the way down to about the 1-yard line. And a couple of nice blocks in front of him. Backus with a nice block. Rob Sims with a nice block. Up over the top. Big-time playmaker, Jahvid Best. And when you think about where he fits on this offense now, and you got tight ends that are playmakers, we already know that with Pettigrew. Scheffler has been quiet today. They've really missed Nate Burleson with his injury today. And you've got Calvin out there. You've got a bunch of legitimate weapons. And number 44 right there, when he's in the backfield, offset enhances all of that ability for this offense with what they have in terms of the talent.
Tuesday, Fox has an unexpected new addition. It's Raising Hope from the Emmy Award-winning creator of My Name is Earl. Raising Hope premieres this Tuesday after Glee, right here on Fox. And Glee is a don't-miss show. I hope you'll stay tuned for Raising Hope.
I go pick my son up from football practice. He's a freshman. Monday nights, it's like, Dad, we got to get home. Glee's on. We got to go to the weight room. We got to go to study hall. No, we got to watch Glee first.
All right, onside kick here. What do you think? 11 points down.
2 scores down. I would do it.
4:13
I don't think they're
remaining.
going to, but I would do it.
Nope. Hansen kicks it deep. Sean Jackson was up. He goes back into the end zone, takes a knee for the touchback. We check in with our sideline man all over the field, Chris Myers.
Sam, before the game, I talked with Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie, who told the story. He said he gets a phone call from Andy Reid. Said, think about it. Would you be open to the idea of having Michael Vick come join the Eagles? And Lurie said, let me think it over. He called him back, said, okay, I want to meet with him face to face. The owner did. Spent 6 to 8 hours with Michael. He said 2 things were really important. He was skeptical, but he wanted to make sure that 1, Michael had served his punishment and understood why, and 2, that he would be a good teammate and would follow the guidelines that the Eagles set out for him. And of course, Michael Vick has done all that. It had no direct tie-in at the time to the future of Donovan McNabb, but certainly Vick on the spot today delivered. And the quarterback controversy, Tim, as you said, will not be there because Kevin Kolb did practice yesterday. Andy Reid said he's the starter next week, and Michael Vick understands that.
Ashley Palmer on the tackle on the short pickup. Kevin Kolb, they let Donovan McNabb go as they changed the structure, the foundation of the team, and Andy Reid is committed to Kevin Kolb.
Well, they just paid Kevin Kolb.
Yeah, and he says he feels Kevin Kolb has a big future in this league, and he's going to be the quarterback of the future.
There is no doubt that they are committed long-term to Kevin. Mike knows that. Kevin knows that. Andy knows that. And Andy said, I'm a huge fan of Mike Vick. There's no doubt about it, but Kevin's our guy.
Vick still with it. Rush, he gets rid of it to McCoy. The Lions are there. McCoy dancing around. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. If it did anything, it killed some time on the clock.
And then I think back to the quarterback situation here, and you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me a lot of when Favre left Green Bay and they had Aaron Rodgers in the wings,
right,
ready to go, ready to stepping in for the superstar, Kolb for McNabb. Now the only difference is Aaron Rodgers didn't have what looks again like a reignited superstar in Mike Vick behind him. But I think when you look at it, Mike Vick is, you said it earlier, he's playing for his future, and his contract, this is it. It'll be up at the end of the year. And someone, if he keeps playing like he's playing, and what we've seen out of these first 2 weeks, Mike's going to get paid. And he'll be a starter somewhere again in pro football.
He's getting paid pretty well this year. The Eagles picked up his option at $5 million. But Mike Vick is the thing he's thankful for is that second chance. And he's been humbled by what happened, obviously, spending 21 months incarceration. And I think right now he's appreciative of the opportunity and anything he does for the Eagles.
Definitely, and I think committed to being as positive as he can in the community. He's speaking on a panel on Tuesday coming up this week, going to talk to kids, as he told us last night, trying to be the best ambassador, Sam, he could be.
C.C. Brown back in at safety for the Lions. He was injured earlier. Vick rolling, being chased by Vanden Bosch. Runs out of room and takes a big hit. See, I didn't understand that. Vic should have just run out of bounds. And
he wants
flags here.
He got knocked out. He's trying to stay in to keep the clock going. Sam,
still to take a hit like that.
Well, if anything, slide. Don't take the hit. You want to stay in bounds, slide.
Yeah.
Keep it in bounds.
He can't take hits like that.
Number 7, spiking the ball in bounds. It's a 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Still 4th down.
That's a penalty on Mike Vick for spiking the ball after the play.
Yeah, irritated. He's trying to. Oh, man. That was Delmas again. Remember we talked about Delmas spying Vick a lot when Mike breaks contain. Mike broke contain there. Got around Van den Bosch. Delmas, the secondary contain guy, and blew Mike Vick up.
Marty Mortenweg, the offensive coordinator, probably telling him what we were talking about. Mike is frustrated. He took a big hit, but one of those hits that he didn't have to take. And in a situation that they're in, you don't want to get injured now.
It's ultra competitive.
Savraka hunting out of his own end zone. Lions with a chance to get back into this if they can get a quick score. Good high punt. Stephon Logan at the 33. Buying a little room. Trying to get outside. And is out of bounds around the 45-yard line. 55-yard punt, 12-yard return, Stephon Logan.
We saw Mike spike it on the sideline, upset, and I think that was it right there. That left elbow he took right to the ear hole from Ndamukong Suh. Got up frustrated and irritated and got the taunting foul by spiking the ball on the sideline.
Now the Lions, with just over 3 minutes to go, have the ball down by 11. That's 2 scores. They need a quick one. They have all their timeouts remaining. Hill, and he completes it. Inside the 40-yard line, Jahvid Best with another catch, his 7th of the game.
Great repeat call by Scott Linehan. That's the exact call that got him down in touchdown range earlier when Jahvid got it down to the 1, a little angle route on Ernie Sims, the weak side linebacker.
17-yard pickup to the 38. Hurry up offense. Blitz coming. Hill throws it away. Deep was Calvin Johnson, rather Bryant Johnson. 2:31 to go. The defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott, calling in his signals. The offensive coordinator, Scott Linehan of the Lions, trying to find the plays to get his team a score right away with some time remaining to get the ball back. Everybody out. Hill throws short to Jahvid Best. Makes one man miss, gets a first down at the 26-yard line. Boy, Best, he has been the best offensive weapon for the Lions today.
Not even close. And Linehan is just going back to the well against Ernie Sims, trying to match up on Jahvid Best in the passing game. And it's real simple. I mean, Ernie plays one, and I've always said this. I think quarterbacks in this league read and attack coverage. I think running backs and receivers attack leverage. And what you saw right there and what we've seen, I think, with Jahvid Best is Ernie Sims plays on one side. He simply runs right at him and goes the other way and beats him on the leverage point.
Lions using a timeout. Every week, the Big Ten Network counts down the top athletes in the conference's rich history. This week, they unveiled number 20. Who is it? Former Michigan great and Heisman Trophy winner Charles Woodson. Big Ten Icons, hosted by Keith Jackson, this week only on the Big Ten Network, now available nationally.
There must be 19 real big-time icons. That's the first defensive player ever to win the Heisman.
Jahvid Best, 8 catches, 153 yards, and 1 touchdown. 2 tight ends in. Everybody out, swing it out to Best. Looking for some room, didn't have much, forced out of bounds by Ellis Hobbs at the 25-yard line.
I want you to think about this team over the last couple of years with Calvin here in the passing game without Jahvid Best. in situations like this, all the Lions fans knew it. Everybody around the league knew it. Well, Calvin's going to have to do it. Calvin's got to do it.
Second down and
whatever happens today, and they may come up short, but Jahvid Best gives them a huge opportunity and ability to go somewhere else and hit a defense.
Hill for the tight end Pettigrew, and Pettigrew does also. He's over 100 yards receiving in the game. 2 100-yard receivers in the game for the Lions.
You know what's interesting is they've gone here in the hurry up, and Shaun Hill was at his best against Chicago in the hurry up last week. Almost wonder why they didn't go to it a little bit earlier in this one.
Historically, Shaun Hill has played his best in fourth quarters. He's done a good job. He's trying to lead his Lions back, but they need 2 scores. 2 minutes to go. Injured quarterback Matthew Stafford right in the middle of your screen, looking on from upstairs. Shaun Hill has passed for a career-high 316 yards from the 14. Hill throws, and a leaping grab by Calvin Johnson. There's a flag on the play. We will check it out. And it looks to be against the Lions.
Illegal formation. Offense. 81 was a covered receiver on 80, number 4. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Calvin Johnson has had 2 touchdowns this season wiped out by, well, one was incomplete, but this one by a penalty.
And that was a mismatch they wanted. Joselio Hansen at 5'9" on 6'5" Calvin Johnson without help. They saw it, they exploited it, and they get it called back.
Ball back to the 19-yard line, 1st and 15. Lions 1 timeout remaining. Hill throws to the end zone for Johnson. This one is good. It's a touchdown. He beat the safety Quinton Michael on the play, and the Lions with a big score. And with 1:50 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Oh, you got to go for 2.
Going for 2.
Absolutely got to go for 2. Great route by Calvin. Watch him peel it in front of Quinton Michael. And Michael just bit up in front, saw a teaser route in front of him, did not know the post was coming behind him. And that was easy. Perfect throw. Obviously a good catch. Got to go for 2 here and get it to a field goal.
2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. Everybody split. Hill to Calvin Johnson for 2 points, and the Lions are within 3. So the Lions, after being down 35-17, have answered back with 15 unanswered.
And their best players making plays, Jahvid Best and now Calvin Johnson. You play off coverage against Calvin because you're worried about the fade route, and Asante Samuel did it that time. No chance. Calvin read it, ran a little slant right back inside. There's the touchdown. He got behind Quinton Michael on the post route. That was cover 2 deep safeties, got behind Michael, and then here's the 2-point conversion. Off coverage from Asante Samuel. Good choice route by Calvin Johnson, running the slant. Easy 2 points.
6 plays, 55 yards. Matthew Stafford looking on. He is out indefinitely. We talked about that. An injury to his throwing shoulder. And no timetable for his return.
Shaun Hill's out of his mind in yards today.
That's right.
A couple of touchdowns, over 300 yards. Career high for him in the game.
All right. Lions setting up for an onside kick with 1:50 to go. Eagles hands team on. Jason Hansen putting it up, and the ball is loose.
Lions got it.
And the Lions looks like they have it.
Sam Riley Cooper had it. It went right through his hands.
He missed it. He was the guy looking for the bounce. The rookie on special teams missed the ball, and the Lions have the ball at their own 43-yard line.
You know what's unfortunate? A lot of Lions fans left about 10 minutes ago. Watch this. Watch Riley Cooper. Perfect kick from Jason Hanson. There's the bounce. Riley Cooper right there, number 13, cannot corral it. And the recovery by Phillips, it looked like. Yeah, Riley Cooper's got to be able to hang on to that football.
So the Lions with 1 timeout remaining.
Look at the excitement. Look at that.
They have mounted quite a comeback. 2 tight ends in, Pettigrew and Scheffler. Scheffler split off the line. Jason Hanson has a strong leg. Best. Pressure on Hill. Going for Calvin Johnson. Incomplete.
Uh-oh.
And Hill gets up limping.
Hey, remember earlier in the game when I thought they made an emotional decision and went for it on 4th down instead of taking the points? Slam the door shut right in their face. Turnover on downs. I know it's easy, hindsight's 20/20, but if he kicks and makes it, they choose to kick and Jason puts it through, we're in a tie ball game.
Well, they want to get into position. Jason Hanson can hit from probably 55 yards in.
They got to get the ball to 44, send everybody deep.
And they tried to, but there was good coverage, good pressure on Shaun Hill from Jaquay Parker and Antonio Dixon. Michael stepped in front of Javid Best. Mike Vick on the sideline. Nothing he can do. He can't play defense.
You sure about that?
Here is 3rd and 10 for the Lions.
They've got a blitz. One of those backers has got to blitz to hold Javid Best in protection.
They rush 4. Hill throws outside for Brian Johnson. All over his back was the rookie Nate Allen.
I don't get it. Javid Best wide open on that play, and Shaun Hill is trying to drive the ball down the field, and I understand that, but you're driving it into double coverage, and there's plenty of time left.
Well, right now, they've got as little as 1 play remaining. They have to get 10 yards here. Have to get to the Eagles 47. It's 4th and 10. And timeout Eagles. They have 1 timeout remaining now as the head coach steps out to join the group. This is a huge 4th down play.
Smart timeout too by Andy Reid and Sean McDermott and that defense to get his guys over there and get some air back in their lungs.
Well, more good stuff coming your way on the NFL on Fox next week. It all begins with the all-new Ford Edge Drive 1 pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Lions will be at Minnesota, divisional matchup. Eagles at Jacksonville, Redskins at the Rams. Hope you'll tune in for some more great football on the NFL on Fox. Here it is, 4th and 10.
See if they drive everybody off and leak out Pettigrew or Best out of the backfield.
That's what they do. The pass for Scheffler broken up. Joselio Hanson reached in with the right hand. The pass intended for the tight end Tony Scheffler, and the Eagles defense comes up big.
Great coverage down the field. Shaun had nowhere to go. You look at everybody's covered, and including Tony Scheffler. I mean, Joselio Hanson in absolutely perfect position, playing from a trail position, had a safety behind him, and gets the bat down, and Shaun Hill blasted again.
Shaun Hill takes a hit, gets up slowly. Andy Reid's Eagles will get their first win of the season. Mike Vick showed that he is back and able to move the offense, putting 35 points on the board.
Impressive, and almost 300 yards passing, and a bunch more running. Awesome.
Today's game was produced by Mike Burks, directed by Greg Scopatoni, Associate Director Tom Yohe, Broadcast Associate Matt Saldana. The studio show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The associate producer, Stephanie Medina. The highlights coordinator, Janice Casaza. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. On computer stats, Mark Sosna. We thank him. And for Emmett McGuire, our statistician in the booth.
You know what? I'm
Gary
happy
Lynn,
for
our
Emmett.
spotter.
I'm happy for Gary.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Vic.
And
I'm
who are you
happy for
happy?
Deshaun. I am more happy and most happy for Ernie Sims.
First win in 30 games.
Are you kidding me?
29 consecutive losses.
He doesn't look too happy about it, though. Ernie.
Because he knows they're going to look at some of those defensive films and say, well, guys, we had a breakdown here and a break. But
good for him.
The Eagles win their first. They go 1-1. The Lions suffer another tough loss. They go 0-2 and go to Minnesota next week. Stay tuned. The AT&T postgame show is coming up as we review the game. The Jim Schwartz, certainly some positive. Javid Best, wow, did he look like a huge offensive weapon. Pettigrew had a big game at tight end. Calvin Johnson came on late in the game with a couple of clutch catches. Right here, Mike Vick is running out of time.
I think, Sam, the lack of speed at linebacker since they've moved Ernie Sims and they've got a couple of guys hurt, in particular DeAndre Levy, exposed big time today by the speed of Mike Vick, Deshaun Jackson, Macklin, McCoy. All the speed on that Philadelphia offense was hard for them to handle at the second level with those linebackers.
Big game for LaShawn McCoy, over 100 yards rushing, and what a day for Mike Vick. His first start in nearly 4 years. Since December 2006, he comes up with a win. Strong game for Mike Vick. The offense of the Philadelphia Eagles outdoes Javid Best and the offense of the Lions. The Eagles win it 35-32. We'll be back with the AT&T postgame show right